It's on you.
All right. Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Division Secretary, myself, Bruce Staten, rules and guidelines of the meeting. No cursing. Please try not to use the N-word. Sisters, please do not give out your numbers without approval of division officers. Please respect when others are communication. During member share, limit yourself to 5 minutes. Ladies will share first, then brothers. Respect the chain of command of your local officers. Do a roll call real quick. We got Brother Everett here. We got myself, our Sergeant at Arms. He's here today. We have Vice President Mr. Richardson. He's here. Mr. Shaw. I thought I saw him earlier. Yep, Mr. Shaw. He's on today. Lady First President. She's not on at the moment. Let me see who else we got. We got Technical Committee, Mr. Cameron Hopkins. He's on. Ambassador at Large, Ms. Charlene Foster. She's not here at the moment. And we have African Legion, Mr. Jamal Pullman. He's here today. All right. So we're just missing Lady President and Ms. Charlene Foster today. All right. Sir, did you want me to lead the pledge?
If you feel comfortable, go for it. Or I can do it. It's on you.
You always do it. Can you do it? You do the best.
Y'all funny. All right, if everybody can unmute, put up your fist if you can and repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and the green.
Of the red, black, and the green.
I dedicate my life.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of our scattered Black children.
And the liberation of our scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled
with the purpose and knowledge of themselves.
The purpose and knowledge of themselves.
As African people.
As African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
Will neither falter nor fail.
We need to fail
until all Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
And one destiny.
And one destiny.
Race first, family.
Race first.
Race first.
All right. Brother Everett, you want to do the old news, sir?
Yes, I can do the old news. Let me pull up the agenda myself. Hold on, here we go. So where are we at? Old news. All right, our Juneteenth event was a nice success. It was a lot of competition this year. We didn't do it on the back lot, but I consider the back lot still us. So I would say it was even better. We had music back there. A lot of people dancing and stuff, and they was coming around to our part in the front. Just a nice event. We had our member Kaylin Young, who's running for delegate, come out, and John B. King, who I've been networking with, who's running for governor. He came out. So I have a little respect for the brother because everybody knows what the UNIA is. We're pro-Black race first organization. We're the grindiest of the grindy. So for that brother to come out, man, I had a lot of respect for him. And later on, I'm gonna introduce you guys to brother Joshua. And he's actually, I met him through brother John King as well. So that event was very good. So I'm very proud of that. It was hard work, but we made it through. Sister Charlene, our ambassador at large, came out. So whenever she can come out, I know she's going through a lot. It was just great. Keep going on. Still waiting on the African Legion leader, Brother Kabir, to step forth with some direction. But we're about to have a big meeting. So Brother Jamal, I see you on here. I'm going to try to get us to link up with him before that meeting so we can go through everything. The next international cleanup, I believe, is July 9th in Philly. We don't got to spend all day up there, but it'll be good if we can get a couple members to just go up, wear some old clothes, show some love. First, a PG will be there, and hopefully before the PG goes back to Africa, he'll show his face as well. So that's pretty much the old news that I can think of. Anything I'm missing, Brother Frank? Brother Bruce, I'm sorry.
No, no, that was it right there.
Okay.
The international headquarters, the last cleanup.
Right, the last cleanup I didn't attend, so pretty much I just wanted to just table that to the one July 9th. I had a tournament I had to go to.
What time is the cleanup?
It's usually probably about, I would say 9 to 3. I try to get up there probably like 10:30 or so and get out of there about 1 or 2. But like I said, we don't got to be up there even that long just to show our faces. Well, what they're doing is it's our international headquarters. It's been a fire and everything. We got the building back, and they're trying to get as much debris and stuff out of those basements as possible. So the construction people can start going in and building and getting the foundation set. And it's a lot of stuff that you can do as far as even taking a tour of the abandoned part. So it'll really hit your heart to see where our ancestors slept at, and old typewriters and stuff. So it's really cool just to take a tour. So definitely I'll keep in contact with you guys, but I believe it's Saturday, July the 9th.
I have a question, if that's all right.
Yes.
As far as pertaining to the building, you were saying that it's going to be, there's a cleanup going on and they're going to be laying down a foundation. What's supposed to be being built in place?
Well, I don't think they're rebuilding it. I probably said that wrong, but it's in my words. So I would say that the foundation would be making sure the structure is in place, making sure everything, the framework and everything is solid.
Okay.
They went and said it looked good, but they want to start from the bottom where the basement was. And there was a lot of junk, man. I don't know if you saw the pictures when I first went at the HEC. We just went there and started doing it. It's actually 3 basements. It's 2 sides of the building. One side has 2 basements, and we cleaned out the one side. That's the side you can go in. The other side where people used to stay at is like 4 floors. And that side is kind of dangerous, but we're going to go in there and move as much as we can. That's the side that really needs work. But when I meant by foundation, I guess maybe the structure of it, Brother Cameron.
Okay.
Yeah. Back on you, Brother Bruce.
I do have something. I believe it's going to be new news. Did everybody receive an email from me? I want to make sure I got everybody's email about this convention that we got coming up in Detroit. It's the August 23rd through 27th. All right. It is going to be the 64th Unia and ACL International Convention in Detroit, Michigan. All right. With division 407. Did everybody get that email? If not, I will make sure I send it out again.
I'll send you the I thought I did, Brother Bruce, but we got a couple added a new couple people.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'll send you the a spreadsheet, Excel sheet right now of all the members' contact information.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and print that out. So the convention is coming up and in Detroit, and it looks like there's a little bit of a fee for it to get it in the door, just for donation type deal. And I believe it's like $15. right? For the division, it's going to be the whole division is going to be a 125. All right.
That'll come out our pocket. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay. And pretty much they have a actual list of hotels that you can stay in that are Black owned in Detroit. Various parts of Detroit, hotel over on West Grand Boulevard. They got another hotel on Highland Park, 18th Street, 18 Church Street. And these are all different type of neighborhoods right here. 351 Gradiot Avenue. I don't know if anybody ever been to Detroit. If you haven't been to Detroit, sometimes some places in Detroit look like a war zone. There are abandoned houses, different things like that. People left the city, different things like that. So the hotels are in various neighborhoods. So once you get this list, if you're gonna go, you'll be able to see where you want to stay at. So that's what's up with that right there. But they have a lot of different hotels to choose from and everything. And Detroit's not that bad. It's an okay place to be at. I used to go there all the time. So
I may have possibly missed it, but how long is the event?
Oh, it is from the
Tuesday,
August. Yeah, sir.
What's those actual dates?
Yes, sir. It's the 23rd through the 27th of August. The 23rd through the 27th.
Okay. Has anybody already committed to going?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm like down the
street.
street, so I need to go.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm working it out, but I'll be there. I told Sister the General Secretary my goal is to be there Wednesday because I gotta present. So I'll try to get there by Wednesday during the day to present.
Well, if my money is right or whatnot, I might try to link up with you and see about us getting together and whatnot. So
that'll work. That'll work.
And let's see what else we got. That's pretty much it right there. That's a major event right there. I believe I did receive something about one of our brothers passing recently. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Everett?
Yes, it was one of our high executive council members, an elder, had passed away. No, you talking about the brother? No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about somebody else. You talking about the brother from Canada?
I'm trying to get his name right now.
We have two divisions in Canada right now. I believe one's Montreal and one is Toronto. The brother from Montreal, the division president, just passed.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking at getting him back into the fold. I'm sorry, getting his position refilled. But yes, he passed away. So she's probably just letting everybody know about it. I've never met him personally, but I hear some great things about him.
Yeah, his name was Mr. Randolph Pierre. Pierre.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, Randolph Pierre, and it was the Montreal chapter 334, right? So
Yeah.
Montreal has chapter 334. So hopefully they can come online. I haven't heard anything from anybody from Montreal and everything since. So it would be nice to have some communication with those guys,
Right, without a doubt. We got one in Toronto too, extension of our Buffalo division. So I want to try to link up with them brothers as well.
Right. All right. You got some new news, sir?
New news. Let's see what we got here. All right, yeah. So Sister Lynn didn't jump on yet, but as far as African Heritage Week, that's a whole week. We're going to get her to meet with us. I've been meeting with her, and I meet with her tomorrow as well. So, Brother Tony, what I might do is try to get you to jump on that meeting with me tomorrow when she hits me. Brother Tony's going to be doing the sound system for the Marcus Garvey Festival, which is part of African Heritage Week. We want to really get more participation. I'm looking to get people to get into the parade. You know, a lot of people don't even know there's a parade. So I want to try to get some youth and everybody to do the parade, which will lead right up into the to Harlem Park School, where the festival will be at. They're trying to get a new stage. And again, a lot of people had issues with the sound system. So she said, Brother Tony got that. So we got the sound system, and we just want to make it better, you know, more energized. So we want to start promoting that festival, which eventually her goal is for us to just take over when the brother gets old, gets unable. Brother Charlie Duggar's been doing this festival for a while, and she told me he uses his Social Security check. You know, he really doesn't ask for any money or anything. So we want to just make sure that we get the brother, you know, and help him out as much as possible to support that Marcus Garvey Festival. And that's pretty much it. When I get more details, I'll let you know. But African Heritage Week, it's a whole week. There's a lot of things going on, film festivals for Black people and everything. So we want to make sure that, you know, we get that information out to our people. We talked about the convention in New York. Oh, I got raffle tickets. They $5.
What?
Tickets finally came in for our convention fundraiser for Detroit, who's hosting it. The $5. So hopefully you guys can buy one and at least sell a couple. First prize is $300. Second prize is $150. And the third prize is $50. And of course it goes to our Unia cause. And I say, you know, soon once we get our building and everything together and we moving like that, we're going to want to do the same kind of thing, do fundraisers and get all these organizations to support us. So if you can, I know we ask a lot, we always kicking out money for something, you know, but you know, there's no movement without monetary success. So, you know, whatever you guys can do, but the raffle tickets are only like $5 and you can win something. So that support would be greatly needed. And I think we got the most, some of the most, but you know, that'll be besides New York. So if we can knock out as many of those as possible, that would be great. Still taking socks and clothing donations, mostly want socks, but the plan is in August, I want to go out and to one of those homeless spots and pass out the clothes. You know what I mean? Just give them out. So if you guys know anybody, we really want socks because like Brother Cameron said, a lot of homeless people could use socks, but clothes, anything old, even children's clothes, you know, anything.
Hats, toboggans.
They'll sell it. You know, they'll do something with it. So yeah, so anything will help. And I just think it's good for just to take it to them. You know what I mean? As opposed to dropping it off or somewhere. There's a lot of spots that homeless people camp out at that'll be willing to take that. You wanted to add something, Brother Cam?
Yeah, I was just saying that another thing that we need to ask for is maybe some hats or toboggans as well. I could probably even go to the Dollar General and you know, maybe get some $2 toboggans or something like that, 20 or 30 of them. You know, I think that would help out a lot, especially with this wintertime coming.
Got you. All right, let me keep going. I thought I lost my train of thought. So we took care of that. We talked about the convention and the raffle tickets, pushing membership. I say this every week, but I want to make sure that's why we do the events, just to meet people. In fact, I met one brother at one of our smallest events with not a lot of participation. That brother came back with a bunch of clothes. So, you know, we want to just try to do something. So if you guys know of any event in the DMV that's close to us, you know, let me know if I can make it. I'm out there just meeting people, passing out cards. And so I think that's the next thing. You know, I pass out a lot of cards. My goal is to do 30 a day. So I get affordable cards. So I'm gonna try to get you guys some just so everybody can have it with the name on it. You know, just some affordable cards. I also got brochures. They printed, they came out right. I went to a printing shop, Brother Can, and we got flyers. So whenever we need to just meet or just hand something off, let them know that we're here. That's good. We got a lot of people that signed up that pay dues, but you know, some people got personal problems or family issues. They can't be into it like the go-hards, like the true Garveyites. But the more we recruit, the more members we get and the more active members we get. So it's very important to be out there. I put the newsletter out. I rushed it, but Sister Brenda, she getting on me about the newsletter with MailChimp. So she likes how we do ours. So I got that out, Brother Bruce. So I get with you with that. I think that's pretty much it. Before we went to the presentation, though, I had a brother that I wanted him to introduce himself and speak to him a bit. Brother Joshua, you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear, my brother. You look good. First of all, I want you to introduce yourself to the people, our members, and just tell them about the organization and some of the things you're trying to do and how we can incorporate and link up with you guys.
Of course, yes. So first and foremost, thank you for having me here today. My name is Joshua Turner. Currently, I am one of the co-founders of Breathe, that represents and honors the lives of Breonna Taylor, Rodney King, Eric Gardner, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Howard Bo Jr., and the last E stands for etc. Our work revolves around honoring all those lives that were mentioned, as well as the names unknown, that have been victims of police brutality or some form of systemic racism or any kind of systemic abuse, to honor those lives with action. And what does that action look like? Our entire mantra as an organization revolves around Malcolm X's statements when he talked about by any means necessary. And we've discovered that, you know, although there's been a lot of activists and a lot of individuals saying those words, they don't typically actually take those leaps to discover really truly means to say by any means necessary. We're an organization that does not believe in any kind of performative actions or any kind of performative direct actions, but every action that we plan out and every action that we execute is always meant to bring forward more attention over to the revolution, right? We're not an organization that believes in, quote unquote, I guess you can say, peace, because when you have a violent system that is preaching peace to the nonviolent victim, and those individuals are following the line, you don't have any kind of progress. We can only get to peace after there is a revolution, right? And we have to decide that we are the ones that are bleeding. So what does that mean? That means by revolutionizing our systems, our institutions, to work for Black people and to truly value Black lives. So as an organization, within the organization, I have created various different forms of legislation that are going to be passed in New York City, as well as several other areas throughout the country, all related to police brutality, wage gaps, et cetera, and whatnot, as well as we've endorsed various different candidates that have been running for various different positions, whether it be governor, whether it be mayor, whether it be senator, whether it be whatever in various different states. That's where a lot of our work revolves around, as well as, like I said, impactful direct actions. To give you an example, on September 12th of 2020, for the first time in U.S. history, I organized both New York and New Jersey to take over the George Washington Bridge. And my capacity within Breathe is that I pretty much create all the legislation, write the legislation, as well as organize direct actions on the ground. So all the protests, all the direct actions, and any kind of political work, that's where my landscape kind of holds inside of Breathe. Breathe was also founded by my other fellow co-founder, Brandon Descent, who's actually a Black survivor of the Parkland mass shooting down in Florida. His work largely revolves around getting a lot of the messaging out, as well as contributing to legislation as well too. And also, just to make it perfectly clear, I'm still very young, so I'm also here learning, just how many of you are, and I'm looking forward to developing a relationship where I get to gain some information and also exchange. I'm 22 years old. I'm also a college student, but I won't bore you with the rest of the story, but that's just a little bit about me and the work that I engage in, as well as Breathe as an organization. If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us on Instagram at Breathe Official Page. On Instagram, we've now amassed up to 106,000 followers, and we are planning to continue to grow until we have solved the issue, and then we go down to 0 followers. So again, it's great hearing from you all today, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this relationship might yield.
I got a question.
Sir, of course.
How you doing? What you taking in college, brother?
Political science, urban affairs, public policy.
Got you. How long you been in there?
I'm actually a junior, but I'm transferring over to Morgan. Originally, I was at a PWI, and the PWI that I was at had a lot of issues with racism, Particularly, I had a lot of retaliation happen after I founded the organization from both professors, administrators, as well as students, death threats, the whole nine. As a result, I decided to transfer over to Morgan. And when I transfer over to Morgan, I'll be a junior. So I'll be entering my junior year. And then after that, going through my senior year, then I'll be done.
So what you plan on doing when you get out of college?
When I get out of college, I plan to continue to work, obviously, with my organization. What I'm planning on doing is to expanding some aspects of Brief to incorporate the legal sector, where we actually have our own team of lawyers to be able to work on the behalf of different families that have been impacted by systemic racism, bias, prejudice, police brutality, the whole nine. Yeah, that's what we are planning to also expand into. We're also planning to actually officially become a hybrid pact, so I can do this full time without, having to work another job. I can just dedicate all my time to this. I also plan on going to law school as well too, either law school or getting my master's in public policy. So I actually do have kind of a leg to stand on when I continue to write legislation in the future. But my entire purpose in my entire life is going to be revolved around the fight for liberation for Black people, and hopefully, it won't take my entire life to get there. So,
Good job, brother. Good job,
Respect,
brother.
brother. Respect. I'm on Instagram right now. What did you say the name was again?
Breathe official page. You have to type it completely out because we were shadow banned for a minute. And I'm sure if we're still shadow banned,
Okay.
but if you type out Breathe official page, it'll pop
I see.
right on that place.
1,200 followers.
Say it again.
Well, I guess I'm looking at the wrong one. If you could, brother.
Breathe. Yeah, you have to type out Breathe official page. I'm put it actually inside the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask for. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And it sounds like you got a lot to offer or whatnot. And I look forward to seeing how we can work together as well.
Most definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, by the way, brother Joshua, you are a member of the UNIA and you probably didn't know it. When our founder, Marcus Garvey, set up the UNIA, every Black person of African descent is a member. So what you doing in your organization, but we need you with us too. So that's why we want to network with you and help you out. And you can help us out when we do events. You guys can come out. We can let you guys speak, and we can do this thing together to liberate our people. So you are a member. So whenever we have something, you jump on in, man. You're a member of our organization, and we need to make the whole community know that. That red, black, and green is for all of us. We just here making sure these people use it right, but you're already a member. So I salute you, and I'm so glad I met you, my brother.
Most definitely, same here. Also, we have an event coming up. Well, not an event. We actually have a direct action coming up in New York in the month of July. I can't get too much in specifics because Zoom is not a secure form of communication. But if you all would like to be involved, please come on out. It's going to be for multiple days, and we need as many bodies as possible. We're going to be in New York. I think I communicated with you previously what we were doing. So if you like, you can disseminate that to other individuals outside of Zoom call, obviously. But if anyone wants to participate in what
Did we lose him?
No, I said if you all would like to participate in that event, I think we talked about it when we initially met.
Right.
But if anyone wants to participate, just obviously go through the proper chain of command. I'm not sure how things might work over there, but just communicate that over so that we'll be able to collaborate, work together, and try to get as many bodies out there as possible. I really think it's going to be really impactful. We have different partners out in various different parts of the country that are all going to be flying in for this as well too. So looking forward to collaborating and working with you all.
Awesome. Back on you, brother Bruce.
What's that? The meeting, the link.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother Frank. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
The link you put in the chat. What's that? For Instagram, Facebook?
Yes, that's for Instagram. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else got any questions? All right, back on you, brother Bruce. Thank you again, brother Joshua.
Thank you, brother Joshua.
Real quick, I just wanted to make a comment. Um, I I appreciate you coming on today, and also the work you're doing because it takes a lot to write legislation and get it pushed forward. So, I think that people overlook the fact that we have to work within the government and alongside the government to try to push change through and everything. So definitely really appreciate your efforts, and man, I wish you the best. And we'll definitely be contacting you in the near future.
What's up, man? Like I said, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to learning from you all as well. Like I said, I'm still a baby. I'm only 22 and I'm still learning. So I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Do you think that you'd be interested in possibly taking a position in Congress or anything like that? Because I'd love to support you in that regard.
When it comes down to that, how I look at it is that, you know, when it comes down to, entering a system like the United States and, working inside of government, there's, real key things that, I got to make sure that, I have still instilled when I get to that point. And obviously, I refresh my mind of this each and every day. But I don't want to ever become a politician. My thing is that I want to be a revolutionary. If I'm called to be in office, then I'll be a revolutionary in office, right? Meaning that when politicians, especially Black ones, are able to go ahead and get inside of a white institution such as the United States of America, and we know the history of the United States has butchered Black people since the very beginning of time, right? But what we understand is that typically those Negroes that are allowed inside those offices and positions are your quote unquote Negro leaders that Malcolm X talked about, those that aren't a threat to the system, right? And the thing is that even when they get inside those positions, that oftentimes either talking or speaking against or speaking downward towards their own kind or doing things that are detrimental to our people, right? Smiling, chucking job in front of the cameras, but do a whole different thing when it next to the white man, right? So I want to be I want to be the complete converse of that, right? I'm not a friend of the system. I will never be a friend of the system. I will never be a friend of anything that pushes forward the detrimental treatment of Black people. Simple as that. The industrial genocide of Black people has to end. So,
May I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so do you vote?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you do vote. So you believe in that type of system, because if we're going to create a government and we want people to believe in what we want to believe in, and let them catch the train with us, then we have to figure out how to fit in with them and be the change in there. So you don't.
So I think
because
some
you
of what
speak like you're a leader already. Say it again.
I think some of what I would say was misinterpreted. If I think if I finished, you might have caught like part of it. But what I'm going to continue to say was basically that, right? Like when it comes down to, I'll actually go first to your point where you talked about when you brought up voting, right? When you're voting in America as a Black person, what you're actually participating in is something called harm reduction, right? When you had the picks of Biden versus Trump, it was about harm reduction. Neither one of the candidates truly represented any kind of Black interest. There was one candidate who was able to go ahead and paint himself in a better light, simple because he wasn't uttering some of the same exact things as Donald Trump was. But we know the history of Joe Biden, who was a pro-segregationist, et cetera, and whatnot, right? And he only switched his opinions and views once it became popular. But we also understand that, while there's been certain quote unquote things that were being done, such as the Emmett Till lynching act, that law has absolutely no teeth. I picked through it myself. It has no method of implementation because they're using the same exact force that started out as slave patrol to enforce a law that they would never enforce, right? So when it comes down to, voting, as I said previously, that's harm reduction. We're participating in harm reduction. But now back to what I was previously stating in terms of running for office someday. If I were to go ahead and run for office, I'll make it very, very clear who I'm running for and why I'm running. It's for Black liberation, and that would never change.
If I may jump in for a second, brother, you got much love and respect for me over here. I'm loving what I'm hearing. The only reason why I even brought that up is because we had a brother running in South Carolina, Marcel Dixon, to take Jim Clyburn's spot.
Mhm.
And I think that that maybe it'd be good for you to even look into linking up with him as well. And just like the sister was just saying, we need brothers just like you to
Yep.
help stand up for us. And
Yep.
take it may be starting off small. Take a small spot and then work our way up and push that legislation for us and be that guiding light so we can support and whatnot. So as I said again, much respect and much love. And I can't wait to see, what happens from here.
And if you want to know the best way to write legislation is to be in it. So if you're, they have, if you're in school, you can do an internship within the government. If you want to learn how they play the game, then you need to be in it. See what they're doing. See how we can make the changes. Because we have to be a change agent. So I understand that you want to go in and I want you to be that popular guy with that. It's about our race, right? So, but we are melting pot right now. So even though it's about us, but you got to meet everybody. Everybody. It's like your neighborhood. I have different nationalities in my neighborhood, but collectively we do things. So I still need that other party. So if you're in there and you're finding and gaining information that we can use, if you decide to run, you already know what to do. You know how to let your voice be heard because you got our attention. So use that. You are a visionary. A leader needs to be a visionary. You have enthusiasm. You sound like a supporter. All that incorporates a leader. So I understand that this game that we're playing, and it's like chess, and you have to govern yourself. So let's play and protect the race because they're the players. And you already know who we're dealing with. So find out how they're playing this game. Get in there with them. Talk to them. Find out information and bring it back. So we'll know how to counterattack them. And that's all I have to say. So just think about that.
Hey,
Ashay. Hello.
Jamal, is that you?
Yes, sir. Hey,
You
how
know
you
what
doing,
was
Fred?
really crazy, not to cut you off. I was just about to ask you to connect with the brother.
Yeah,
I was just about to make you say something. Go ahead, my bad.
yeah, no, y'all good, man. Let me just say, right, there's 3 main areas, right? It's really 5 in total, but it's 3 main areas that I think us as Black people, in order to run this race, right? Economics, politics, and religion. I'm gonna say those 3 one more time: economics, politics, and religion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You get certified in those 3 areas, meaning they got to be on black and white, our name in black and white. Excuse me. So there's also entertainment and community too attached to those 2 branches. I mean those 3 branches in the web. So, but again, like I said, economics and politics and religion is something that I think we definitely want to get involved in when it comes to running the race against America.
Yep.
And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, Pres, I hear you say connect with the brother. I sure enough will. I give him my I connect his collect his information.
Yes, if y'all both could connect in the chat, that would be great, man. Because I definitely want you to link up, and there could be some support for the Legion as well.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Up and get some tactical training and everything, and get out there and be ready to stand in patrol if need be.
All right, thank you again, brother Joshua. Brother Bruce, it's on you now, brother.
Thank you, sir. Do you want me to do my presentation now?
If you're ready, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
hold on. I'm sorry, brother Cam. You wanted to play a video, right?
Yeah.
But hold on, brother Frank.
It goes in with the presentation.
All right, so hold on, brother Frank. Do you want me to wait, or you want me to play that now? Because the message.
I'm saying it.
No, I got you, brother Cam. Brother Frank wanted me to play something.
Okay.
So I want to make sure you go with brother Bruce. So I'm asking brother Frank.
Okay.
Does he want me to play that before or after the presentation? You gotta unmute, Brother Frank.
Right before member share.
All right, got you. So after Brother Bruce, my bad. Thank you, Brother
Yep.
Frank. All right, Brother Cam, it's on you now. And then we go into Brother Bruce.
All right, Brother Bruce, you all good?
Hey, Marie.
Yeah, I'm all good.
You're gonna have to mute everybody else if you don't mind, Brother Everett.
I got you now.
All right, all right. All right, we ready to go, Brother Bruce?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so me and Brother Bruce, we've been working on this presentation for a couple of weeks now, and we're ready to present. But before we do, we want to play a message or play a video that's gonna set the tone for the presentation. So if you guys just bear with me for one moment.
If white immigrants can come to this country 50 years ago with nickels and dimes and no education, and come here and pool their little nickels and dimes and no education, and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. Since Lincoln was supposed to have freed the black man 100 years ago, and today the black man, according to the government economist, has spending power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into his anymore. One more thing I would like to point out concerning what he said about 125th Street. We don't waste our time on 125th Street, but you can reach more people in the street who want to change than you can in the bourgeoisie society, the bourgeoisie church, and the bourgeoisie circles. Our program is directed toward the man in the street. So we spend our time in the street, and what we do with that man, instead of trying to change the white man in your mind, make you accept us, we change the mind of the black man and make him accept himself. And as soon as he accepts himself, he'll solve his own problem. He won't be trying to force himself into your factory and into your bedroom and into your kitchen.
Now that same talk applies to us today. Now we're going to get into the presentation.
Thank you very much, brother.
Most definitely.
All right, let's see. Here we go. All right. So yeah. We'll come over here. Come on. All right. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes,
able
sir,
to
we
see
can
you.
see you.
Okay. All right. All right. This is my presentation to the Unia-Acl Also, this is my company, Acl Baltimore, short for our doing business name is ATI. Okay, this is ATI's International Importing and Exporting Company in partnership with Unia Division 106. Okay. So here we go. Start off with the brokerage, right? I'm going to explain to you what the brokerage is and how a brokerage works. We have freight transportation and dominance. That's what we're shooting for. This is phase 1 of my project. The brokerage. What is a brokerage? A brokerage is a cooperation between a carrier and a shipper. Duties of a brokerage to control the pickup and delivery of products or materials to the supply chain. We deal with shippers, freight brokers, freight forwarding, freight agents, and dispatchers. So if you come into this industry, you're going to start off in one of these positions, right? Unless you're a truck driver. Initial startup costs for a brokerage, roughly, you have a $300 motor carrier authority, and then you would have an actual surety bond, depending on the credit of the individual representing the company that signs up for it. It can be from $2,000 to $6,000, depending on their credit. So the brokerage could be set up for less than $2,000 if the person setting it up has good credit. All right. So we're looking at roughly $1,000 for any type of training course, give or take 1,000. That means you would, if you need training as far as how to broker, you can order a brokering class and we can share it amongst 10, 15, 20 people. So you get one class, we can feed many with one class, all right? For our transportation management system, which is short for TMS, that's the brains behind the whole digital network that we're creating. This is the brains right here, based on a five-person team. It would be $500 roughly, right? For a 5-person team. Now we would have to have insurance over a 12-month period. So we're looking at roughly $1,200. A second. All right. So look, total cost, $8,000 to $10,000. That's a total cost. Give me a second. Let me get this off the screen real quick. It's not going to work. All right. So how does it work? The agent quotes the customer a load from Dallas, Texas to Washington, D.C. The customer agrees to the rate. Once the customer approves the quote, the agent sells the load to the driver or the trucking company for a percentage less than the quote, right? You see the arrows and you can see how it works. You got an actual customer, which is a shipper, selling it to the broker. Broker takes his cut, then he puts it on the load board, which is the actual market. And then the driver picks up the load off of a load board and he takes the load from the broker. All right. So we have a spot market, which is dealing with the carrier, which is the driver. And then we have an actual contract market. All right. So you have different markets right here. Whatever the brokers are dealing with shippers and whatever the drivers are dealing with the brokers. Those two different markets right there. And it's dictated in this diagram right here. All right. So there's a system designed already, a ranking system, right? This is a project. So inside of the project, you're going to have different levels to this. So everybody's not going to be on the same level. And everybody shouldn't be. There should be some type of structure that dictates who's in charge and what abilities they have. The United States government has that type of system. The military has that type of system. And most 80% of major corporations have some type of ranking system in some way, shape, or form. All right. So our level 1 is a dispatcher. All right. Dispatcher finds loads and they monitor loads. Now, we're saying dispatcher at the moment. As time goes on, we're going to phase out of that word dispatcher because in this program, in this project, they're much more than just regular dispatchers that we know of. They're actually logistics specialists. The way everything is designed, they'll be doing way more than an average dispatcher will be doing, and possibly getting paid more money than an actual dispatcher would be on the independent market. Because most of these dispatchers that are running around and they're posting on Facebook, they're independent, just trying to get whatever money they can get from wherever. We have an organized situation right here. Level 2 would be a supervisory position. So it would be an agent. An agent would be over a dispatcher, several different dispatchers. And we'll get into that later on. And over the actual agents, which you could have many different agents over many dispatchers, there would be a broker, and that would be your level 3. So we break it down in levels, right? So what does the agent do? Supervises dispatchers and acquires new clients. That's what they will do on a day-to-day basis. Go out and find clients. It could be anywhere from Target to Walmart to a steel plant. That's what they do. They try to get clientele, right? What does the broker do? The broker manages the agents, right? So that is their boss, which is the broker, right? Agents answer to the broker. And the broker, whatever contracts the agent's going to set up, before they set them up, they got to get approval from the broker, okay? And then we go on to level 4, our management team. That's level 4. We have secretaries, accountants, marketing, HR. After that, we have a regional manager. So regional could be East Coast region. It could be Southwest region, or it could be West Coast region. So we'll have regional managers that deal with different areas over large swaths of areas. And as time goes on, you'll see that this is duplicatable in many ways. So you would definitely need a regional manager over all of these different people that you have coming in the organization. All right. Training will be required and provided to advance through these ranks. So every rank that you're going to go through, you'll be required to have some type of education to be able to promote yourself or to advance yourself in the organization. All right. We have to have a well-trained workforce. In order to have a well-trained workforce, they have to be educated. We're in the logistics industry. There's a lot more than just pushing loads to trucks. You know, there's a lot more. There's a whole gamut of things that folks can be learning to advance themselves and further the corporation. All right. Our hiring objectives for the first 6 months. We need 3 agents. Each agent will have 3 dispatchers. That's our setup right there. 3 agents, 3 dispatchers. That's our goal for the next 6 months. And as we progress, we can add more and more. So we'll see how that works right there, 3 and 9. All right, the Unia-ATI partnership. The role of ATI in the business model: create business opportunities in international trade in between the African diaspora in the global arena, to promote unity and full control of the goods and services coming in and out of Black African intercontinental and international communities. Help facilitate the UNIA's growth and development in the transportation business sector. That means that whatever ATI is doing, it will be backing up the UNIA as fully and as much as possible, all right, in the business world. Right, so this right here is a actual load count coming in and out of different states, various states. So this state right here would be Colorado. So we're looking at flatbed being roughly around 600 loads coming in to Colorado, and then flatbed coming out with, say, 1,600, okay? And these numbers change from day to day, week to week, hour to hour. They can fluctuate. So sometimes, a lot of the times, there's a lot of loads going out Then sometimes there's loads coming in. It just depends on what time of year, what industry, all sorts of factors are included in there. And as we go along and folks get more involved in the logistics industry and you're shown how freight moves, you'll be able to see that certain areas are good for freight, some areas are bad for freight. Every area you're not going to bring a flatbed in and come into and then come back out of. And as time goes on, you'll learn how that works. Right, we'll take an example of Florida. Florida's right here. Says right here, total loads coming into Florida, well, total loads in Florida are 2,900. You only have 337 trucks in there. So there's a imbalance in the loads versus trucks. And we'll get into that, how we can solve that problem in a minute, all right? We can definitely solve this problem. If they have a lot of loads out there, we can solve that problem by bringing in more trucks into the industry, all right? So let's get into the numbers a little bit. What is the average cost of a load? Generally in the range of $1,200 to $3,000. So that is the general range of an average load, all right? That's going, let's say, 500 miles, 600 miles, 800 miles, depending on what type of vehicle it is. It could be a flatbed, it could be more, it could be a lot more. So it could be upwards of $4,000 or $5,000, but we're using these numbers right here, okay? So right here, what we see is the potential of 1 week with one load, right? And as you see, one load is $2,000. The broker would take out their cut, which is 13%, which would be $260. And then there would be a split between the agent and the broker, right? So the brokerage would get 40%, the agent would get 60%. And that's just one load, one client, one load, one day out of 24 hours, okay? So as we go down, you can see the numbers slowly progress, right? So the more loads you do, let's go down to how many loads per week right here, all right? As you go down, you would take 2,000, multiply that by 10, and that would be roughly $20,000. And then 13% of that would be 2,600, and then there's your split right there, right? You got time to look at that. Available trucks compared to the loads needing to be hauled. In the Florida example, there were 2,900 loads to every 337 trucks. Using the ratio from the previous slide on the Florida loads, in general, there are 8 loads to every 1 truck. And like I said, we'll be able to solve that problem as we go along. The brokerage fee is 13, and some of the fees can go up to 20%. That is the broker fee that you see right there. That 13%, it can change. It varies from time to time. It can vary. There's no cap on the money, as you can see. So we're looking at a week right here on the top table, and on the bottom table, you're looking at per month. So if you did 4 loads a month, that's what we're looking at on that first line right here, right? And then for the month, as you go down a little further, you can see it progressively gets bigger. And that's just for one agent right there, okay? And here you can see how the brokerage goes through on a weekly scale right here. That's 1 load on the top table, weekly, 1 load. And as we progress further up, you can see what it looks like for more loads during the week. The bottom chart right here is 4 loads, let's say for a month. And as we progress further, the numbers go up. This is what the UNI is looking at right here. We have 48 divisions in the US. If we can get 10 out of 48, that's roughly 20% of the divisions can come on board, the growth can be exponential. The UNIA could have ownership in the profit generating corporation with the broker agent, dispatchers, all UNIM members involved donating a small portion of their profits every month towards the UNIA business growth and development, all right? Over time, allowing the UNIA to purchase land, fund events, incorporate more businesses and other essential needs sectors, and help its citizens. So this is a way to generate money for the UNIA divisions and the whole UNIA if it's adopted. And on the very bottom, you can see eventually helping to fund the recreation of the Black Star Line. And we'll get more into that as we go through the presentation. So we'll look at this bottom chart down here. It shows UNIA divisions. This is 10 divisions, 9 loads per division per week, right? And as we go down here, we progress, and this is what 10 divisions can actually do. All right. We have another chart for the UNIA. This is the UNIA chart right here. So we got 9 loads per week per division right here. Looking at 450 loads, that's $2 million right there. All right, easy money. Takes a little work, but it's attainable. Now we'll get on to phase 2, storage and warehousing industry. Land is king. This is phase 2. Now, the warehouse industry here in the United States is almost rival to that of what the Black community is spitting out every day, and Jordans and other goods and everything, the warehouse industry. So storing things for other companies is big money, all right? And I'm not even sure if I even have the correct numbers from day to day, but it's in the billions and trillions of dollars that the warehouse industry is. And that's what we're trying to get involved with right now, all right? Land is used to store the overflow and goods from various clients and provide income from various storage services, all right? Land ownership will provide additional business income from newly generatable storage services such as secured storage, container yard, right? Vehicle, boat storage, overnight camping and parking, refrigerated storage and warehousing, indoor shooting range, mechanic shops, showers and food, living quarters, a CDL school for CDL training to train truck drivers if need be, and a fuel station. So we can do all kinds of different things with our land, After establishing the broker, the efforts will be turned towards land acquisition and ownership. Roughly, let's say we start off with 25 acres, between 200,000, give or take a little bit. Right. So our first layout would be a single container, right? A container, right? We're not going to put up any big, giant, extravagant buildings that take 10 months to build or 2 years to build. We can buy containers and start off with containers. They have container houses. We can start off with container office buildings or container living. So we're roughly looking at to customize one and make it livable or as an office, roughly $10,000. We already went over the numbers with the brokerage and what the brokerage is making. This is phase 2. So in phase 1, you're making money. You're generating money. You're trying to get shippers. You're trying to get clients. You're promoting your agents to make money. And then we can move on to phase 2 to acquire land and to be able to start building. This is another business layout, building layout right here. This one shows, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers. You also see they have air conditioning units. So they drill a hole in the side of the container. We can easily put up air conditioning units, power. We have a slab right here. We will call in, we can move the actual containers ourselves, but we would definitely want to call in professional cement pourers to pour the cement in order to be able to put the containers on. Because you have rebar and you have other factors involved in cement, what is curing, cement curing. The cement has to cure. If you don't put it down correctly, when you start bringing trucks on there or you start putting heavy weight on there, the cement's going to crack. So that is something that would definitely be done professionally, but majority of the work we can do ourselves. So we're looking at, there's a place that you can rent different things like cranes. One is called Sunbelt. We can even buy our own crane. The military surplus, they sell cranes for cheap prices, sometimes $5,000, $6,000, some maybe $10,000. Military reconditioned military equipment that they don't need anymore. It's obsolete, basically. So that's another way of being able to purchase. And with 25 acres, you could put up multiple buildings, even the warehousing ourselves. The only thing we need to have done is folks come in and pour the concrete. There's another building design right here. All right. This one right here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one has 10 containers. They put a roof over the top of it. Look at all the space in between right here. You can have a second floor, and we have so much square footage off of using containers and putting a roof over the top of the containers. We instantly create a building right there. This is not the warehousing that we're going to use. This is actual office or living quarters that we may utilize right here. The actual warehouses come in kits. So there's a kit that comes for the warehouse. All right. This is finished inside of an actual container situation with a roof on the top of it. You can see they have a kitchen over on the side. You could create where this table is. It could be office space right there. This is a slash living quarter. Also, it could be an office building. This could be one of the first buildings we put up at our location just to start off. It can be put up for $200,000 or less, okay? Shipping containers. You can make it as fancy as you want or just have it as bare bones as you want. Location, location, location. All right. Our location is going to be near railroad tracks. All right. Anything that we put up, any type of land that we're going to acquire needs to be typed somewhere near railroad tracks, right? Reason being is because sometimes it's a lot cheaper to put stuff on railroad than it is to do it on trucks. And on top of it, we're building an international importing and exporting company. So if we're having something that's going to be exported to like, let's say the Port of Baltimore, then we put it on the rail and it will make it to the Port of Baltimore, all right? We can send it on truck or on train, all right? There are, at this point in time, we should already be into freight forwarding. So there's two different types of freight forwarders. There's freight forwarders that do not handle freight, and then there's freight forwarders that actually warehouse freight. We're looking towards being the type of freight forwarder that warehouses freight and does it, puts it on the actual train and ships it off, or put it on the drayage truck and it gets shipped off on a tractor trailer. All right, so we're looking at Texas. Texas is a good spot. Why Texas? Cheaper land, no corporate tax, no personal tax, and relaxed gun laws. So we'll get into that. Most of that is self-explanatory. The gun laws, if you want to get out there, you want to have a rifle range, or you want to have some type of training facility, boom, Texas is the spot, all right? Roughly, one of the pieces of land we looked at was Big Springs, Texas, $129,000, 27 acres. Big Spring, Texas. Here's the aerial view of what 25 acres looks like, all right? You can see the different residential areas around here, and that is 25 acres. That's another aerial view of 25 acres. All right. Here is an actual railroad map, all right? Here's a railroad map of one of the railroad companies, Union Pacific, right here. And as you can tell, you got railroad tracks that come right here in Texas that come from Dallas, go all the way to El Paso. So anything in between there, cheap land is perfect. Anything in between there. It doesn't snow down there. Warmer climate. So, you know, we don't have that problem of our equipment, our trucks getting eat up by road salt, different things like that, because they don't do that down there. There's no snow down there, right? And from Dallas all the way down to the port down here, here it is right here. That's roughly, I've driven these roads, it's all downhill. All downhill when you come there. So from here to here is all, it raises up, the elevation raises up. So if you're driving a truck from Houston all the way to Odessa or all the way to El Paso, you're going uphill. So you're going to burn a lot of fuel. But if we're sending it on train, any type of goods and services we're sending on train, we don't have that dynamic going on. And if you want, you can go to a topographical map and check out what I'm telling you. I've driven these roads many a days, all right? So from Dallas down to Houston is all downhill. But from Houston all the way up to Dallas is all going uphill. So let that soak in for a second. All right. In the warehouse situation, we also have a ranking system, right? The ranking system that coincides with the brokerage also coincides with the warehousing. There's a rank system all the way straight through the whole program. You have warehouse workers, ground hands, right? Their jobs can be vast. It can be vast. They're exactly what they say they are, warehouse workers. Then we got level twos, our forklift drivers. Those are more skilled jobs right there. Yard jockey, those are the guys that are in the yard moving the actual freight around. Then you have people that are moving containers around. They're moving different type of goods around. That's what a yard jockey does, all right? Then we got a level 3, which is an inventory clerk. So anything that's being stored, we have special people that's their job to make sure that the inventory is correct. all right? Everything inside the warehouse has to be accounted for. Everything, every pin, every box, everything has to be accounted for. Level 3, inventory manager, inventory clerk, excuse me. And over the inventory clerks is an operations manager. So each building can have an operations manager. All right, each building, each warehouse can have an operations manager, or that operation manager can be over several different buildings, but everybody's accountable to somebody. And again, training will be provided, required to advance through the ranks. All right, so we're going to move on to our phase 3, international carrier transport. This is phase 3. And we started off with the brokerage. We started making money. We're making money. We planted ourselves down on a plot of land. As we put ourselves on a plot of land, we might have several different land plots that we're utilizing and many different warehouses. We might have a warehouse district over in Maryland, have another warehouse district over in Texas. Now we're making money from every one of our ventures and everything. And now it's time for us to move on to our international importing and exporting, full on, where we can actually move the goods ourselves. Joint venture between ATI and Unia. Now, ATI, my main focus is to make sure that we get through each and every phase. Now, if Unia just wants to do the brokerage, no problem. We can have a joint venture in that arena. That brokerage makes money. You've seen the numbers. They just keep climbing. The more you put in, the more you get out. But as far as ATI is concerned, we're going all the way up to international importing and exporting. All right. So that's where I'm at right there, the international importing and exporting. We have an example of a used cargo ship, right? Used cargo ship is roughly $19 million. This is one example of a used cargo ship. Let's say it held 100 cargo containers, okay? This is a 2007. It's used. It works for us. It could work. We're not going to go far. You know, if the farthest, we probably go South America to some of the islands. Start small with our shipping. Here's another example of a used cargo ship. $19 million. All right. Our shipping outlook and the crew, right? First, shipping routes will be centered around transporting back and forth to the Caribbean and South American countries. Over time, consistent training and new crew member hires will give us the ability to accumulate a fleet of ships. From freight brokering to freight forwarding to warehousing to international shipping. After establishing dedicated trade routes, the focus will turn towards doing business with Africa and all other neo-colonial land masses of the world. All right, shipping container crew outlook. You're going to have one head captain. You're going to have a greenhorn captain in training, 3 deckhands, a chef, boiler engineer, 2 engine repair engineers, ship fitters, welder, EMS, and a security force. Total of 16 members on a ship. So you're gonna have 16 members on a ship. I believe I sent out something about the maritime school today, showing different folks about where you get the crew from. So the crew. Either we're gonna help them to become crew from our funds from the brokerage, or we're gonna bring them in as fresh recruits straight out of school. You know, we have something to offer. We have a ship, we have something to offer. Fully loaded cargo ship. That's a Maersk ship. Now, as we go along through this whole project, we have competition. We're competing as an organization with the Russians, with the Ukrainians here in the continental United States right now. As we speak right now, Ukrainians and Russians have brokerages in this country, and they live in Ukraine and in Russia. All right, they are running things over here while we're sitting back still trying to figure out how we're going to make our next dollar. All right, so here's our opportunity to cut into the profits of the industry. Sky's the limit. There's no limit on the amount of income we can make. We're only limited by our imaginations. We're not reinventing the wheel. This stuff is already, these companies, these types of companies are already in existence. So there's no reinventing the wheel. This is a direct pathway to be able to achieve this goal. All right. So let's recap on this. So the brokerage, $8,000 to $10,000. That's to get started with the brokerage, right? And in freight forwarding situation, we're looking at roughly $200,000. Startup cost, container cargo ship, we're looking between 6 million to 20 million. The brokerage makes money for the warehouse. Then we're able to go into phase two. The warehousing makes money to be able to support the ship along with the brokerage. Everything supports everything. So if anything, you come up with the initial cost in the beginning and everything supports everything else. It's a pyramid that supports itself and it's solid as long as you continue to go with the formulas of making money. All right. We have to keep our minds on making money. Our fighting for economic liberation is free. Everything else is going to cost us. Our fighting for economic liberation is free. This is economic liberation right here. All right, funding. Property investment for growth and development. Building business credit is a core factor that ATI will focus on. With business credit, ATI can fund projects and phases in a fraction of the time. Generally, banks ask 20 to 30% of a down payment upfront when approving business loans, all right? For that $200,000 land, they're gonna ask for 30%. We only gotta come up with 60%, $60,000, okay? $60,000, right? Container ship costs 14 million, bank requires 30%, we come up with $4 million. Then you have costs like staff and payroll to get that first load done as far as loading up the ship. We have our own crews now, we have our own crews. So we're able to do more than the average company because we're training people along the way to do the jobs that we need done. That's why we have a ranking system. We're going to train people to do the things that we need to have done in our international importing and exporting company. All right. Funding is also possible with ATI with limited partnerships. So if you want to do a limited partnership with ATI, we're down with it. All right. Here's my Cash App in case you find somebody that wants to go ahead and do a limited partnership or wants to donate to help the cause. All right. For the UNIA, we're going to talk about shares. How the UNIA can distribute out shares and be able to generate funds to come up with the money for the brokerage, right? 100,000 total company shares, the UNIA can keep 60,000 shares. So that'll give the UNIA over 50% ownership, and then they'll sell the rest. Each share sells for 100 per share, and that'll be roughly 100 investors. Each investor can only buy 25 shares, so you don't have a monopoly coming in and everybody has the opportunity to buy shares. That'll bring in roughly $10,000. All right, there's your startup cost right there. You sell a share for $100 to 100 different people, and there you go. There's your startup cost right there. Okay, UNIA founders of the corporation will automatically receive 30 of the majority shares each without any additional investment. What does that mean? That means right off the bat, UNIA founders, they receive 30 shares, period. All right. Founders, any investor that works within the company playing a role in the building of the company, having a company role as an agent, dispatcher, marketer, accountant, etc. The projected funding deadline is 1.5 years to have the initial startup cost. Once the startup cost is met, it'll take around 3 years for the investors to see a major return in their share value investment. End goal, all right, to lead the logistics transport sector globally within the supply chain of a Black client, developing transport logistic executives through the generation of training, strategic information, indicators, and innovation, allow us to provide effective new lanes of traffic for transportation of illicit goods to the demands in the underserved communities of color. All right. To be the leading association and benchmark in the fields of logistics transport at a global level, generating training, strategic information, best practices, and innovation, giving value to professional and logistic executives, making companies more competitive by promoting and organizing. Alkebulan Tribe Inc. will be one of the first Black world community leaders. All right, let's change that a little bit. Our objectives: group and represent professionals with activities related to logistics, transportation within related areas and academics and universities. Contribute to the professional and human improvement of its associates, to the development of logistics transportation techniques, to develop the development of the economy of the Black community in general, right? Develop and stimulate study and research in the fields and relations of logistics transportation, as well as other related fields that affect the efficiency of the organization. Create awareness about the importance of the advancement of the Black community in a global economy. To be a forum for the exchange of knowledge and experiences among professionals in transportation logistics, sharing among associates knowledge of the concepts, strategic information, and best practices of transportation logistics for the benefit of the sectors, companies, and customers. Promote professional improvement and communication in associates, grow their knowledge, exchanging and sharing experiences and ideas. Promote education and programs that increase the opportunities to develop the professional careers of transportation logistic activities. Promote, expand, and maintain relationship with national and international organizations that have similar objectives in order to exchange knowledge and experiences, as well as cooperate with other organizations, colleges, universities, institutions of public and originated initiatives of the development of their well-being. To be a consultative body before any government or private institution in the field of transportation logistics. the program, this is the project, this is ATI in partnership with the UNIA right here. This is what ATI stands for, and UNIA has their doctrine at the same time that they stand for. We're going to do everything we can to make this work in the Black community to promote Black unity among the diaspora. All right. Now, any questions?
I have two questions.
Go ahead, brother.
One, the training, the platform, is that a one-time fee? You said the $1,000, that's a one-time fee, and we'll be able to just be able to reuse that again and again? And how often does it have to be updated? And two, the brokers, so the people that's going to be coming on getting the contracts, you know what I mean, for us to be able to move this freight, are they going to be considered employees or 1099? How would that break down, and how do we recruit these people for this position? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Now, your first question was basically the actual agent, the agent model, right? The agents are the ones who are going to be out here trying to hustle and bustle and make sure that they get clients on a daily basis. They will be supervising. At this moment, their name is dispatcher. We'll pick them from all over. We can get them off of Facebook. We can get them off of LinkedIn, Indeed, wherever we may be. We can go to the homeless shelter. We can go to the women's shelter. We can go anywhere and find somebody that wants to start up in this corporation. All right. We'll train them. Right. They will get trained. As far as the training, when we order a training class, every bit of information we get down there, if we have a training class and we're sharing it between 10 to 15 people, everybody should be writing notes. So by the time we finish that one course all together, screen sharing or however we may do it, right? We all should know something about freight brokering, and we should all be able to share that information amongst ourselves as a hive, just like a tribe. Our tribe, one tribe member learns something, we share it with everybody. There's various places where we can get these people from. Your second question, what was your last one, sir? I want to make sure I got this one right.
How would these the dispatcher, as they were calling them now, how would the dispatcher be listed? Are they going to be listed as employees, or are they going to be independent contractors? How do we categorize their position?
Okay, now in ATI, my format is everybody's a actual 1099 independent contractor. Okay, now as being that, like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just going along with models that are already set in stone, right? So as them being 1099 employees, they will come in and they will do their job and they will get paid to do their job, right? Now, everybody nowadays, they sign a non-disclosure. As they're building a clientele, they're not able to hurt your corporation because they're signing a non-compete, right? So when they decide they want to leave, we have a level 1 dispatcher, which is a logistics specialist that's able to fulfill their position. They decide they want to do something else, they can't handle these clients for the next 2 years, right? So it behooves anybody that's an independent contractor, 1099 employee, to come in the door and stay. You know, you're dealing with customers, you're making money, everybody's making money off of eating off of there, and they're a supervisor over other individuals, and they're a team. So in this format, we basically making them, I will come back up here so I can show you. Come back up here. All right, in this format. All right, so this right here is the agent, and this is the dispatcher, which is level 1. Each agent, starting off, each agent will have 3 dispatchers, right? So they work together as a team. That particular agent, which at this moment, I am an agent, all right? So I just need 3 dispatchers to work along with me, and we work together to complete a task, right? So there we go. And your team, as time goes on, we might go 1 agent per 15 dispatchers, and that becomes Team Alpha or Team Bravo or a green team or Team 12 or Team 16, all right? So you could have 50 different teams of agents. You could have 50 different agents, and all of these people, logistics specialists, we will eventually change this, logistics specialists work underneath this agent, all helping this agent in a department to make money. This is not your regular setup like it would be, like you see on Facebook, where they're just dispatching and they're just moving trucks. No, these actual logistics specialists do paperwork. They're helping to further the corporation by helping the agent to do his job more efficient, if that makes sense. All right. Any more questions?
Hey, brother Bruce, I got a question or two.
Go ahead, brother.
So I like to look at things from the smallest point. We're just starting out. So if I'm just starting out, and I want to just, hopefully you can explain it to me. I'm going to have me an agent and some dispatchers, and we're going to try to find drivers and try to find shippers. That's the simple form so far, correct?
When your brokerage opens up, right, you're going to have an agent. Yes, sir. So your agent is going to go out and they're going to go, let's say you go to the Chamber of Commerce, right? You go to the Chamber of Commerce in your city, right? And you look at all the jobs in your Chamber of Commerce. Every city's got a Chamber of Commerce, right? So you look in there and you say, okay, I want to go into, I see some refrigerated places on the west side. I see a couple of steel plants on the east side. So now what you're going to do, you're going to create a packet, right? You're going to create a packet that introduces yourself to that corporation, to that organization, and you're going to let them know that you're a brokerage and you would like to move trucks to move their loads. That's what your agent's going to do. Now, as a support system for being able to do the paperwork and everything, that's what the logistics specialists that I'm talking about are going to be helping the agent do. Agent's sick that day, you got a logistics specialist that's able to still continue to help that agent move his loads. They're not dispatchers like you normally would require, you normally would hear out here in the world, like all they do is move trucks. They are actual like secretaries of the agent. They're helping him to complete his job, right?
Because so pretty much the system that we'll be paying for will be the dispatcher, right?
I didn't understand the question, sir. Can you explain that again?
Pretty much the system would be the dispatcher. Once they connect, they just go in and get the load and they know where to deliver it. So that would be the dispatcher part, the old school way that I'm familiar with, correct?
Yes, sir. So the agent will need a TMS and the dispatchers will need a TMS, right? Transportation management system. So everybody, all the agents and everybody in the whole organization, even up to the warehousing and the freight forwarding, are all connected on this one system. So all they got to do is log in on this one system and everybody can do their work. And we share everything. That's why as we went back up here, we saw, I think we had the cost right here. Everybody's going to have these systems. We're going to have customer relations, the system, everybody, CMR, right? Everybody's going to have a Microsoft Teams, so we're able to communicate, and everybody's going to have a TMS, and that keeps everybody connected. So, like I said, whatever the logistics specialists know, the actual broker knows, even up to the higher level management.
So let me ask you this. So, for example, we get this started. And I'm an agent. So I go up and I contact the PG and I say, hey, Barca Clarke, the grocery store. I know you guys are interested in shipping. If you got your system where you can do orders, I can get the trucks to ship that out, or drivers and so forth. And then I just got to connect with drivers in that area. That's pretty much it. So whatever he charges, we'll get a cut and the driver will get a cut, or we both get percentages, correct? So pretty much I just need to get drivers, and I just need to get somebody that has material that they need shipped out and are willing to ship it and just use us. And we can just sit back and let the business take care of itself, correct?
Okay, so that is correct. Okay, now, when it comes to moving a load for, like, let's say the rock, let's say you was gonna go to the rock and you was gonna approach the rock and you wanted to move freight for the rock, okay? Now, you have built up a carrier base, you have relationships with drivers. The rock, what are we moving in the rock? Are we moving refrigerated? Are we moving 10,000 pounds? Are we moving 8,000 pounds? How much freight is the rock getting? We first have to establish that. First, once we establish what is coming in and out of the rock, and how much weight is coming in and out of the rock, and how much frequency is coming in and out of the rock, then we can set a rate on going by, set a rate for the rock and what we're going to charge the rock. If that be how you're going to work with the rock. So you have to know all the details in order to make a rate to be able to charge them. And yes, you will be able to either say to the rock, look, I can do this. And if you don't have the truck available, you can put that particular load that you created with the rock on the load board, which is the spot market. You created a contract between the broker and the rock, right? Now you're gonna take that load if you don't have readily available drivers, and you're gonna put it on the spot market. And any driver that comes along that gives you the price that you want, then you give them the load.
Gotcha.
All right. Yes, sir.
And if I may jump in, Brother Everett, pardon me for whoever's about to speak. As far as, it's basically what Brother Bruce was saying, that it's going to be around $200 or around $150 to get each individual started each month. One of the ways that I was thinking about having this funded is to, just like how I was talking about in my last presentation about helping the homeless, we could reach out to churches and possibly black mosques as well, and maybe even the government, and see if we can try to get basically, that there's shelters for only women and children. Try to reach out to those shelters and look and see if we can help any of those mothers in need, and getting them started with it, and talking to the churches and asking them basically to help for them to take some of their tithe money, or even just some donations, and say, hey, we're trying to help Black people in the community who are struggling get back on their feet, whether it be people who just got out of prison, out on parole or whatever the case may be, or either women and children, or mostly mothers or whatnot, that are in homeless shelters trying to get back on their feet. And we're asking that basically they help sponsor this price that we're talking about. So even if it's just one church and $100, you know what I mean? We want to go and ask them if they can just help sponsor one person get out of poverty. And I look at, and my vision is, if we can get them to pay for maybe 1 or 2 months for one person, that person should be able to make enough money to pay for the next the next months coming in after that. So that's my 2 cents as far as getting it funded for individuals just starting out.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
We got more questions. Please ask.
Yes. So I don't know if me and Everett on the same thing or whatever, but whose responsibility is it to get the contract?
To get what, sir?
With, like, since we're using the rock.
Whose responsibility?
The contracts.
The contract, that
Who-
would be the agent. The
with the
agent is
rock
to get the
as a
contract.
potential client.
Whose
what-
responsibility would be the agent? The agent's responsibility to get the client.
Once
Hello?
You breaking up, Brother James? Brother Bruce?
Yes, sir. I'm still
Oh,
here.
okay. I thought I broke up.
No, you good. He broke up really bad. I didn't get that last question.
I think he was trying to say, like, whose job is it to go and get like the potential places that we can use. I was using the rock just as an example, but
Right.
you know,
That's what the agent does every day. Every day the agent gets up in the morning. Let's say the agent gets up at 6 o'clock every morning. Their job is to contact shippers, contact people in the world, the thousands and thousands and the hundreds of thousands of people out there that shipping goods out there, and try to get them as a contact, right? Now, you don't just get, you're not going to get these contacts on one day. All right, that's not going to happen all the time. So there's sales protocol that you go through. So you might contact them on week 1, and you might introduce yourself, send your carrier package. No, we don't need you right at this moment. Then you put it in your CMR. Your CMR, that was the cost up in the top for, that's a customer relations system, basically customer management relations, right? So you put it in there. So you'll contact them again in 2 weeks, right? Now, at the same time, every day you're working to get more and more shippers. So then you go back and you put it in your CMR. If you don't get in contact with them the first time, what is your interaction from there? So that's what a CMR does. A CMR helps you to organize. So every day the agent's going to be contacting people on a mass scale. So they may be making phone calls. They might even be going directly over to their door, knocking on their door with some milk and cookies or some Unia pins or some ATI pins, giving them to them and say, here's a t-shirt. Here's my carrier package. I'm trying to get get some type of business with you. All right. So that is a process that you can utilize to do that. Now, also carrier actual referrals. So there's a referral program that goes along with this. Referral program is that in this community, we all know somebody who knows somebody that works in a warehouse, or we know somebody who knows somebody that drives a tractor trailer. And everybody, you can ask them to say, yeah, I know somebody working in a warehouse, and y'all don't think nothing of it. But those people are more valuable to you than you could ever possibly imagine in this industry right here, continentally, for us as African people. So if you know Ray Ray and Pookie, and they work over here in this warehouse, you say, hey, yo, Ray Ray, I'll give you $100 if you go put this packet on that desk of that transportation manager. If I get the contract, I'll give you another $400. And we can run that all day and all night. We get the contract, they get another $100. So it behooves Pookie to make sure, if he cool with the transportation manager, help you to get that contract. You know what, hey dude, you know we've been kicking it for the last 12 months. We've been kicking it for the last 2 years and everything. Hey, I know these people, they good people, and why don't you work with them? That's how the system works. Everything in this industry is not just business, it's about relationships. So our relationship is being Black, right? So we utilize what we have in every city in the United States, and we take advantage of that. You got a sister in the church that's a cousin of a friend's friend that she knows somebody that works in a warehouse, boom. Or she works in a building that receives freight. The sister and the deacon, whoever, they receive freight. Every building receives freight, and we work from there. So we utilize our network that we already have to get more shippers. And by it being the UNIA, I'm pretty sure that folks will support whatever the UNIA is doing. All right. So the system is already set up for us. So we can literally beat out any type of person that's over in Pakistan or Ukraine, because we got ground level access right here. We got ground level access, right? I don't even think white folks gonna do this type of stuff. They might have ground level access, but they're not gonna go as hard as we can go. We can go super hard. And these numbers up here that you see on this board, these are not imaginary numbers. This is all just based on $2,000 load. They got loads up there from $7,000, $8,000. So this right here scale is just based on an average load that can be. You got some loads that are maybe $1,000 or whatever. It just depends. If that agent's team, like I said, the agent's team for right now would be 3. That agent's team and that agent, they out there hustling, they going from building to building. That agent says, hey, do you think y'all can run to this building, that building, this building, and help me get these packets in here? Or can you email these people? That's a team. That's what we mean by the agent and the broker. I mean, the agent and the dispatcher. That's a team. 3 agents, 9 dispatchers. Team 1, team 2, and team 3. We got 3 teams right here. And over time, we develop more teams, right, to get this done. So you're not in there all by yourself trying to do a job all by yourself. You have a team. 1 agent, 3 dispatchers. Later on, we'll call them logistics specialists. They trying to make it work. The more this team does, the more they make. And we come right back down here. Here's the sliding scale. If you move X amount of loads per week, if this team moves 60 loads per week, this is the cut for that team right there, right there. All right. And if you do more, you get more. Okay. And on top of the other programs I've already shown you, let's say we have a CDL school and phase 2, we have a CDL school. We're spitting out drivers, right? We're training drivers. We're spitting them out. We have the land to do it. We don't need but less than a quarter of an acre, if at that, to be able to have a driver training school. We just need to get the certification. That's another thing too. Once we buy one course, we share it with everybody. So if we want 5 different CDL trainers, we send 1 CDL trainer to go get trained. Then we have a CDL trainer. I have an actual person I know that's doing that right at this moment. They are trained. They have a company, right? They're trained. They got the state certification, and that now they're able to certify the people who train the actual people that need to get their CDL. That's how that works. We utilize 1 person and we just run with it. All right. Next question. Anybody got some more? Because we want to get all these questions answered and everything. So there's no mystery.
Yes, if anybody has some questions, please get them in now. We have a special guest on as well. We have the second in charge, First Assistant PG, Raymond Duguay, on as well. I wanted to get him to speak real quick, talk about the cleanup and so forth. And I actually sent him the presentation, the PowerPoint, Brother Bruce and Brother Cam. So he does have that as well to take a look at and give his input at a later day. So if anybody has some questions, please get it in now so we can get our brother to speak and go to membership. Anybody have any more questions?
Okay, can I do Brother Bruce, and let me know.
Brother Frank, is that you? You're breaking up.
No, that's the Minister of Education.
Brother Frank? I guess we lost him. Was that Brother James?
Yes, that was Brother James trying to speak, but
he might be in a bad
interference. Area. Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe Brother Duguay, he came in, but it looks like he dropped back out.
Okay, he might have dropped back out. So if he doesn't get back in, but does anybody have any other questions?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, let me know if I'm out of bounds with the question, man. But I know that you're already running. I know that you out there hustling. You doing your thing. How many loads are you moving each month? If you don't mind me asking.
Right now, I have a full-time job that I actually drive for an actual tractor trailer company right now. I've been driving for the last 20 years, so I have a full-time job. I dispatch part-time and I take a broker class on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I'm in a broker class, a broker forum, and I have an ongoing class that I attend when I can, and I have all the information. I'm studying almost every other day how to do this job right here, right? So I'm moving loads as far as dispatching, the dispatching company I have right now with ATI. And currently I have drivers that come in and out. I've worked with box trucks right now. I've worked with several hot shot drivers. I drove refrigeration for years myself. So on a weekly basis, I got a gentleman, I probably move him 5 or 6 times a week. All right. Sometimes I do them double loads a week. I try to work it in on my regular schedule of working a full-time job. I have a lady that works with me. I've had several people that work with me. Some people stay, they got other things to do here and there. I'm just waiting until I can get my program fully finished and ready to kick off the ground. So then when I start the bills, because once you start, the bill's gonna come in, all right? So when you start the bond and you initiate the insurance and everything, the bill's gonna come in, right? So currently I pay for a TMS and I pay for my Microsoft Teams, right? So I have ability, and I pay for several different load boards that are integrated into the TMS system. So I pay this $80, and then I have like 4 or 5 different load boards that are integrated into TMS. So, I mean, I have to constantly keep working. And so if I hire somebody else, they come in, they work, they might only be able to do it part-time, move them a couple of times here and there, and then we work from there. I also get referrals from an actual factoring company. So I work with a factoring company. So if somebody decides they don't want to pay me and everything, or they don't want to pay Miss Brittany Wooten that works with me, they don't want to pay her, the factoring company goes after them and they put them on blast. They put them on blast as far as a organization called Carrier 411. They put them on a TIA and they send legal paperwork to them. So I just stay involved with the industry itself. You know, I don't move big, massive things here and there, but I just stay involved on a constant basis. Like I said, I'm driving a tractor trailer every day and I work in a warehouse. Say it again, brother.
You're already getting, if I wanted you to pull from your own personal experience, if you're already getting like 8, 9 a week, you know what I mean? That's like 20 loads a month on your own while you're driving everybody else, you know what I mean, be done. And if you, somebody was time to, you know what I mean, loads and bigger loads that can be done. Yeah, I just wanted you to, you know what I mean, to let them know that you were actually doing it. You know what I mean? I think grind. That's all.
No, I got you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, you know, I've been in this industry for 20 years, right? Give or take. I'm not by choice all the time either. So I stuck it out. I stayed in the industry because it pays and it was a place to live too, right? So you drive a tractor trailer, you got a sleeper bunk in the back, and it's like a mobile trailer park. I get to go all over the country. If I wanted to spend a week in Baltimore, I could spend a week in Baltimore. And this is over a 20-year period. So, and I've been to warehouses inside of mountains, all right? They literally dug inside of a mountain and made a warehouse in there. So, I mean, over time, I've been to a lot of different places and everything. And this particular system right here is not reinventing the wheel. This actually works because people are doing it. They might not be doing it exactly like I'm showing you, but they're doing it individually. They might just own a brokerage, right? Or they just might own one warehouse. We're talking about moving our system forward. We're moving a system forward from the beginning all the way to the ship, not where we're just going to stop at freight brokering and that's all we're going to do. And that's all we're going to ever do. We're going to move on. We're going to keep pushing it to phase 2. Then we're going to take that money and we're going to buy land. All right. So anybody got any more questions? I got plenty of time to answer some questions.
Anybody have any more questions before we go to member shares? Let me ask one quick question, brother Bruce. One quick question.
Yes,
From
sir.
from your experience and so forth, worst case scenario, how long would it take us to get up and going and starting to get some loads and get drivers to do it? The worst case scenario, how long do you think it would take? Because we are putting it, it is an investment, so I think, that's some questions that people, before they go in and start doing it, because it's going to be a little grind without payment for a minute. So how long do you think, for like the agents and everybody that's just starting and just doing the hard work, how long before you can start probably seeing some small amounts of money? Worst case, not the best.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if a worst case scenario. It's just however you approach the situation. You could go in there within 2 days and get a shipment, just like that. I have a stack of bill of ladings. Now this is where I'm at with this, right? Because I'm doing this every day, right? I go and I got a stack of bill of ladings from several different drivers and bill of ladings that I know of places that I've driven in the past, right? These people deliver freight. So that's where we start at. We can start with people that we know that deliver freight already with their bill of ladings. You got the shipper and the co-signee. So you got 2 different shippers right there. So one bill of lading gives you 2 different shippers. So this is why you have to start as a level 1. You really don't have any choice but to start as a level 1, so you can build up some type of paper trail. You got to build up a paper trail. You got to learn how to move freight. And as you learn how to move freight, you collect these bill of ladings, right? We're going to keep our mouth shut about that. We're not just going to run out and say, oh, we're just collecting bill of ladings. No, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do, we're going to be collecting bill of ladings. So then that way, when we go on to build the brokerage and everything, then we have places that we know ship out freight and we know that receive freight. So that's 2 different emails right there, 2 different calls right there off of one bill of lading. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so I can't really give you a time frame, but I can give you some bill of ladings. I can do that. I got, a place that we picked up some medical equipment the other day. I got a medical place that I know of, and I would start right there. So there's no worst case scenario, no best case scenario. You got to learn how to move freight. And as you learning how to move freight, then you working your way up. Start making your collection of bill of ladings, start learning how to move freight over here, move freight over there, and learning where the freight is, So that's how it rolls, bro. Anybody else?
No, stay right there real quick, brother Bruce. I just wanted to look at that page.
Yeah.
Before we.
This right here is based on.
You say you do about 8, 7, 8, 10 loads per week.
But I'm dealing with box trucks too. I'm doing it at a slower pace. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Nothing major. Yeah. I like to look at how we're getting in the game, real small and easy.
Right. I'm just dispatching though. I'm making this right here, like where you see that profit split and everything, like that. Where let's say that broker profit. I can make $100 in just one load. All right. Just dispatching. All right. Off of one driver. Okay. It just depends on how much the load was for. And then if I'm constantly making a move and I put them in a freight zone and everything, I can make $50 here, $50 there, $75, $80, $100, and just move them every day. End of the week, I done supplemented my check that I already normally make, and that's just dispatching. That don't have nothing to do with the brokerage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I get these guys, I can get these guys from off of the FMCSA website when they first come in the door and they first get their trucks, So they barely know the game. I roll them a couple of days, or I roll them a couple of months, get them used to riding. They're learning. I'm teaching the driver at the same time how to run his business. And then if he decides he wants to do something else, then go ahead. He does something else. But I've created a relationship with him because I'm the first person he sees coming in the door. Now, to some people, that's menial, but that means a lot to me because I'm meeting people as they come in the door of the trucking industry. And if they listen clearly to what is going on, then they can survive. If they stay in freight zones and they learn how freight works and not just chase money, then they can make money and they can keep their truck on the road. So I try to help them out a little bit. I'm a driver at the same time, so I'm trying to help out other drivers too. You know what I'm saying? Right. You go, bro. Anybody else? Anybody wanted to see another slide? Anything? Or explanation on something or some clarification?
Well, I say, Brother Bruce, it was an excellent presentation. And sometimes when you have that, the slides and everything that is so detailed, you're not going to get that many questions. I mean, I think this was your best job explaining it that you've ever done to me. I mean, even though I've taken a couple of the classes and stuff, you really broke down the numbers. You and Brother Cam did a great job with this, for real.
Mr. Cameron, he put a lot of work into this right here and made it in a visual form to be able to present it to everybody. Now, me, on the other hand, I just got stuff in notebooks. I got stuff in notebooks written down and designing stuff and trying to figure out things. He takes good notes. He listened to what I had to say. He heard where I was trying to go with this and he ran with it. And then we let him run with it. He ran with it. He ain't had, we didn't have to micromanage him or nothing like that. He took some notes right off the bat. He came back first week, boom. He had a whole lot of stuff, information down, and all he needed was little clarifications here and there, and he was on it. So he's the man. That's the man right there.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yep. Anybody need any other clarifications on phase 1, phase 2, or phase 3?
I'll also note that if anybody is interested in getting a job or whatnot, if they're serious, please have them reach out to Brother Bruce with possibly getting started as a dispatcher.
I got somebody that's interested. I'm link them up with you, Brother Bruce.
All right. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir.
Excellent presentation.
Yes.
Excellent. And I can say I'm a student. So you hit every point.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, I mean, every point. You can catch them in the morning at 6, starting that class. And it's real easy. I know, and when he put it on paper, it's like easy steps. So thank you again for that wonderful presentation, Brother Bruce and Cameron, Brother Cameron.
More than welcome, sister. Thank you.
And Brother Bruce, is this the classes that I was taking before? You doing them in the morning now?
Yes.
All right, that might even work out better for me because I'll be at work. I can just listen and move around.
Yes,
so
sir.
I might jump back on them. Them evening ones was hard for me.
But I will say this. I want to clarify this. There's ATI and how I roll my company. I can't sell shares, okay? But what I can do, I can use sweat equity. So if they come over here and work with me in ATI, then we're going to do sweat equity. So I have my Cash App right here to help with the sweat equity. We're going to start from the bottom and we're going to work our way up. Unia, we already designed out for Unia how you can fund by selling shares. Where is that slide at? By selling shares. So your money will be different than ATI's money coming in the door. I've always worked with sweat equity. I haven't been funded to do anything that I'm doing. So I take time out of my time. I train people for free, right? This is free training. There's no cost to be trained. The only thing you got to pay for is your TMS. I will show anybody how to do anything for free. All right. I'll show you how the game works and everything. All I'm looking for here in ATI is 15 dedicated people that want to work with me hand in hand. And I'll work with them and I'll make them agents and we'll work our way up. Over here on the UNIA side, the UNIA can sell shares, 100,000 shares, and have your money within, let's say, a year and a half, or if you got the money within 6 months, 2 months, however. If you put it out there that you're selling shares and here's your presentation, here's where you're trying to go. If you're trying to just build a brokerage, then that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But you can sell shares at the same time. All right. Now, like I mentioned before, if the UNIA just wants to do an actual brokerage, here's your plan. I'll work with the people to train your people to go and become agents and train them to become dispatchers. Okay. So that's how that works. So we got two different entities right here. We got ATI and we have UNIA. UNIA sells shares over here, and UNIA sells shares. ATI, sweat equity, come in. We're gonna work. We're gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna make our way up. All right. So I just wanted to make some real clarification over here. And if the UNIA wants to utilize my ranking system the way we have it right here, utilize that. It works. It keeps everybody in line. However we want to design this and everything, we can design it. Here is the blueprint. I don't recommend veering too far off and getting involved with too much other than that. Our main goal needs to be going straight from brokering, freight forwarding, warehousing, straight to get a boat and start internationally training. And we can do that within a 5-year plan, all right? So the numbers are really clear. You create your sales teams, you create your teams, you know what you want to sell, you know how you want to sell, you have your target market, because this is also sales too, all right? So we got to get in that mindset too. We're going to be selling our companies to be able to get them to allow us to move their loads. We have trucks, they have loads, right? Until we are able to house their goods, then we have warehousing space, then we have trucks, and we're able to move their loads. Then we have ships, we can move their loads into the country, then we can move their loads into warehousing, then we can move their stuff on trucks or trains. So as we progress more, we do more. So that's how the system works. It works just like that. That's the supply chain right there, all the way from Washington, D.C., all the way to China, Bangkok, wherever you want to go. That's your supply chain. UPS has that design. They don't have ships, I don't believe, but they have airplanes. FedEx has that design. I don't think they have ships, but they have airplanes. And other different companies, they have ships and stuff like that. But that's how the game works right there. All right. That's freight forwarding. So there we go. Anybody else got any other questions?
All right. Nobody got any questions? All right. Excellent job, Brother Bruce. Excellent job. I appreciate it. And that's something that we can look at now. And if anybody needs the template,
I have this. I'm gonna give you this one right here. This was from today. This has more stuff than the one that I gave you earlier, sir. Okay.
Is that the one Brother Cam just sent me that? I think this is the one I got.
The updated one. You got the updated one.
The one I got.
Okay, good to go, man.
All right. So I guess we can go into member share real quick. Brother Frank wanted me to share a message from Mosiah. So let me do that real quick.
So yeah, real quick.
Brother Frank, while I get this set up.
If you don't know, Brother Mosiah Fit is currently incarcerated at Howard, and I was able to speak with him this week. He finally was able to call me, and he's doing well. He sends everybody his love, and it's just funny that he's the one that's in, but he's actually motivating me at this point. And he called me. He wanted help to put out a message. Now it doesn't have anything to do with his case, but it's basically along the lines of what he mentioned was post-traumatic slave syndrome, and it's actually it's in line with the video that Cameron played earlier, and it was just something that he wanted to share with others, and we all have to kind of continue to stay behind him throughout his trials and everything that's going on. And there are ways to support, and this is a message that we can start to share. It's a little bit long. It's about 6 minutes long, but I think that it really speaks to his insight of being in that jail and the type of things that he's been seeing in the world before he got locked up and also right now. Also want to say that this, dealing with the phone system there, we got cut off probably 4 or 5 times. This recording took about 7 or 8 tries to actually get. So it's something I've been working on all day. But I think that we can gather something from it. So
All right, brother Frank, stay unmuted because if you don't hear, just let me know. I'm gonna try it now. I got my try it now. Where am I at with it? Hold on 1 second. All right, here we go. Let me try it.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
You was gonna read the letter?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Let me hear it.
You ready?
Yes, let me hear it.
Family of spirit, the Most High works in mysterious ways. In the midst of new, a light appears that delivers us to the vivid vision, destiny, and purpose. Observe history, the Bible, the Quran. It is undeniable that God works best through the impossible tests and trials. I am a witness in my own test and trial of miracles, supernatural, and inexplicable events. I walked away without a scratch from a near-death car accident. My wife has said things to me that is only confirming that God is in the midst of my situation. For instance, while talking on the jail phone, she randomly said a quote that I had hanging up on my cell wall, "Up Unite Race." I still catch chills every time I look at the quote because there's no way she could have possibly known it was written on my wall. All clear signs that we should never believe that there is no hope of relief. I had hope. Never have I imagined that being in prison would become a reality in my lifetime, but neither did our ancestors who made far greater sacrifices for us. Following scriptures have also given me greater understanding of the kind of society we live in. Ecclesiastes 4. Again, I observe all the oppression that takes place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed, with no one to comfort them. The oppressors have great power and their victims are helpless. Verse 13. It is better to be poor, but wise youth than old and foolish kings who refuse all advice. Such a youth that rise from poverty and succeed. He might even become king, though he has been in prison. Chapter 3, verse 16. I also noticed that under the sun there is evil in the courtroom. Yes, even the courts of law are corrupt. And last but not least, chapter 5, verse 8. Don't be surprised to see a poor person being oppressed by the powerful. And if justice is being
is carried throughout the land, for every official is under orders from higher ups, and matters of justice get lost in red tape and bureaucracy. Even the king, aka government, milks the land for their own profit. I have only followed the instructions of Marcus Garvey, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Dr. John Henry Clarke, Dr. Francis Cresswell. They all have accumulated a grand blueprint for us to follow. We must today decide our part to play within our collective struggle. It is our duty. We owe it to those who have paved the way for us, sacrificed their lives for us. Anything less is unacceptable and an insult directed toward the liberation of our future. Hypnosis in full effect and transpires by way of our contentment and lack of unity. It was better for us to know that we were not equal because we had an urgency to unite. The hypnosis of today is that we can simply mind our business, keep it moving, and worry about me and mine as long as I can pay my bills and feed mine. That is a hypnosis, and its deadly effects are prominent today. Observe over our millennials standing on corners, waiting to be processed in the assembly line on the conveyor belt of America's prison industrial complex at stop. Look at what we feed our minds daily, scrolling, propaganda, fear, deception, meaningless entertainment, up and down on your smartphone or tablet, and your children are copying you. Look at how the projects of the predominant black community have become a gentrification revolution. We black people, as known as African Americans, are still the national threat. How could we not be when we have built an entire superpower nation by force and receive no benefit for it? If you beat a dog long enough and keep it caged physically, after so long you will have the mental control of that dog. We are the dog in the parable. Even though we have millionaires and billionaires, they have enriched the institutions that are owned by the wealthier white and international minority elites even the more. Our unity is key. At once upon a time, America's government was telling us, no, you can't be equal to us. They realized we were so progressive in our unity and doing for self that a new tactic had to be used against us. That new tactic was integration. Integration put us right under our oppressor's nose. We rushed into a trap. So as the book of Ecclesiastes says, chapter 3, verse 7 through 8, a time to be quiet, a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. I ask you, what time is it today? You can support by sending a postcard to the Harford County Detention Center with your wise response. My inmate number is 149926. I look forward to hearing your responses. You can also text at 212-202-0107. Leave your name and hashtag FreeBrotherFit. Yeah.
But that was powerful, man.
Thanks, man. Came from the spirit.
Yeah, that was powerful. What he says, inmate number was 14996. That's what he said, right?
Hold on a second.
14996.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
149926.
926. Thank you. Just want to make sure. 149926. Inmate number. Okay.
So what we spoke about after this was the fact that, I asked him, I said, well, what does that jail look like? Because apparently there's like 100 people, I think, 100 inmates that capacity there. And I was like, so what does it look like in there? He said, man, it's mostly black people. And he said the charges that they have going against these people need to be investigated. And that's something that when I was looking up his case versus other cases that happened in the past, there's other armed robbery cases that turned out that they were falsely accused. So, just be careful in Harford County. They on the lookout to try to fatten their pockets by locking our people up. But whatever you can do to support Brother Fit, just keep them in your prayers. Text, send donations to the GoFundMe or the Cash App. Because we got to stand by him, and more details to come about the trial and hearing and all that stuff.
Yes, that was powerful, man. Brother Frank, thank you for sharing that. Like you say, my position hasn't changed no matter what the outcome was. It's still my brother, so I gotta support him, and that's just it right there. Whether he's guilty or not guilty, innocent or not, we all go through things, we all make mistakes, and I can't change up on him. That's my brother, so he's still my brother, you know what I mean? So we gotta be there for him through whatever. And just grow from everything. But all right, I guess we can go to member share. Brother Bruce, did you want to go around and ask if anybody wanted to share something?
Yes, sir. All right. Brother Frank, did you want to share anything else, sir?
Just wanted to follow up on our officers meeting for those who couldn't make it. We discussed that we would follow up with the Harbor Bank and have a meeting with them to get our questions answered and hopefully get a bank account started by July the 8th. Following that, or in the meantime, I want to get everyone on board to start putting up monthly donations that will go towards our operating costs and different things. Also, just like our building fund. So if everybody's putting up, then we can start taking more and more pledges to build up our account and get closer to doing the type of work that we want to do, whether it's nonprofit, helping the community, or a for-profit venture, or even getting property. We just have to start the habit of putting up our money together for cooperative economics. And then other than that, don't really have much else.
Right. Brother Jamal, did you have anything, sir?
No, nothing in particular. I loved your presentation, Brother Bruce. No, but other than that, no, I didn't have nothing in particular to share.
Lady President, do you have anything to share, ma'am?
Hey, good evening, everyone. I apologize for my lateness. But no, everything, the Black Flea Market was successful. And we met some of the, one candidate for governor, and the other one is the Congress. I think Catlin is for Congress. Delegate for Congress. Yeah. So I thought that was awesome that they came out to areas that, like, I didn't see certain other people that are running. They didn't come. They could have. Mm-hmm. But they want to be seen. And I think you'll be seen if you come into areas that we were in, and people appreciate it more than the people where you always go. So I just thank you, President, for networking that and getting them out to speak with us. And it was great. It was great. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Well, I have I guess a little bit to not exactly share, but I have some questions or whatnot, possibly some concerns as well. And you can jump in and tell me whether it should be maybe held back for the officers meeting coming up. My thing is, I know that as Brother Frank was talking about, we're looking at getting a bank account put together. And I guess my thing is, what what is the first business, what are we going to run with as far as business wise? Because I think we can all agree that we can't really rely on, us having to just donate,
Right.
if that makes any sense. And then my second, I guess you could say, concern is, just as the sister just spoke, not speaking anything against anything she said. I'm just, as you guys know my feelings on these candidates. It's one thing for them to just show up and appear. I mean, hell, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris do that all the time. I want to hear what they have to say, more so about what they're going to do specifically for the Black community. And, I'm not there to confront them. I would have, given the opportunity, or when I do get the opportunity. But I would like to, I'd like to, I guess, maybe hear what they have said, or, ask you guys to basically, pull their card, question them. And as I've said earlier, try to get it not just from, just speaking, have it recorded to some extent. I hate to say it, but even if it's secretively, I feel like we got to hold them accountable to some degree, even though they're just, as she said, it's good that they're making an appearance because it shows that they have their eye on the community. But my whole thing is, what are they going to do? Because like I said, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Jim Clyburn, South Carolina, they, he just did a fish fry and he does nothing for the community. And, these politicians, they sell us out all the time. So, maybe if you guys maybe have some comments on that or
Yeah.
whatnot, then I would be, I'd like to hear.
That was an excellent comment, Brother Cam, and you are correct. Politicians are politicians. All we can do is ask the questions. Hopefully they tell us what we want to hear, and hopefully they show some ways that we can hold them accountable when they get into office. One of the main reasons, because I was like you totally, I didn't mess with politicians at all. And the former president, Brother Caesar, used to always say, we need to do this to power. And I was like, man, I just want to hit the street. I just want to get to the people. But after finishing training for my third time, by the way, my officer's training, and I finished it all the way, I realized what Marcus Garvey said: regardless, we got to rub our elbows with the politicians. We need to know who they are. We need to know who the pastors are in every church. We need to know who runs the mosque. We need to know everybody that's a major figure for our organization to be in the mix with. So that's pretty much why I link up with them, and I'm trying to do a little better job of that. As far as John King, I can get him on maybe on a Zoom to speak. The election is in August, but what he's really talking about is education. One of the things Marcus Garvey said, we are uneducated people. And I believe that a lot of the issues that we have in our community, the violence and everything, is because we're uneducated. Uneducated people do uneducated things. So he's pushing a lot of education, yet and still, I'm not saying vote for the brother. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was good that he came out and held his word. And I also met the brother Joshua from him. So he kind of is dealing with kind of a different kind of clientele, or I say support. He kind of goes, as far as in the Black community. But it could be maybe he's not on the verge of winning. I'm not exactly sure how the polls go. But I just showed a little respect because it's hard to get candidates when they research what we're about, the Unia-Acl. So for him to, at least come to an event, but not knowing if it would be big or small. He also invited me to another event, and I went down there when he was on the news. And he just talks, he's mostly an education guy and economics guy. And one of the things that he said that I can just remember, he was like, the Baltimore policing thing is a major issue, and all the politicians are piggybacking on it. And he pulled me to the side. I was talking to him, and he said, he just wants to speak about education and put pressure on the candidates to talk about other issues besides policing, which is a big problem. But, we got a lot of issues, but education system in Baltimore is bad, transportation system, getting jobs. And he felt like everybody is just going forward on other stuff. So that was his major premise. But what I will try to do is I'll try to see if I can get him on maybe an officers meeting. And we can ask him some questions off the record. I mean, he seems to be a straight up cool guy, whether he wins or not. But again, he's a politician, so I'm with you. The best we can do is just vet each politician. If we feel like it's someone that we can get behind them. But more importantly, we just got to hold these politicians accountable. We voting for them, and then we accept the norm. I just tweeted something to Brandon Scott. He was tweeting something about the abortion thing, which I know is a major topic. And everybody was getting on him. They like, man, you worried about that? We understand it's a major topic, but dude, what are you doing about the violence? What are you doing about the crime and stuff? People was getting on him like, yo, we voted for you and shit ain't getting better. You ain't fulfilling anything you promised us. They was really blasting the mayor. And so my response was, if you're unhappy, are you voting for him again? If he isn't doing what you promised, are you voting for him again? But yeah, that's all I wanted to piggyback off what you said. I can definitely try to get the brother to speak to us, but I have a lot of your sentiments. He's a politician. Well, whether he's sincere or not, I can't tell you. All we can do is ask him the tough questions and vet them out. Yeah, that's all I can say on that.
Well, pardon me for interrupting. Just like I was mentioning to the other young brother that came on, which, you know, I feel like, just like when I was telling you about we need to recruit in college, that's exactly why. That young brother is a representation why, and I'm also a representation why.
That's right.
He's like 8 years younger than me. I'm 30 years old, so I'm old school in college. But you know, I have something that I want to share. I have a video that I want to share, if that's okay. It's maybe like 2 or 3 minutes long, and it's basically we had a young brother. Well, I can't really call him too young, but he's around my age range. He's out in South Carolina, and he's a teacher. And he was running against Jim Clyburn. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jim Clyburn, but he's the one who made HR 40, which is supposed to be a study for reparations damn near 30 years ago. And nothing's been done. And he's basically been dragging South Carolina down the drain. And he also sold us Joe Biden in South Carolina. He's supposed to be one of the strongest Democrats in the party as far as holding weight. And I have this young brother or whatnot that I would just like to. Basically, me showing you guys this video is a representation of what we need to get in Baltimore. And not even really just Baltimore, but everywhere. But, you know, since this is a Baltimore clique at the moment, you know, it's what we need to be looking for. When I'm talking about these politicians, this is what I'm talking about. We need to be pushing. We can't be having no, you know, I can't even speak like I want, but we can't be having those softies in office, supposedly representing us, just, you know, scratching our back every now and then. We need some real stand-up people who are going to fight for our rights. So if I have permission, I'd like to share my screen one more time and show this video, 2 or 3 minutes. And if you guys want, we could politic about it for a moment, and then we can carry on.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, bear with me. All right, can everybody see?
Yes.
Let me see. Bear with me one more. Okay, here we go.
We just saw each other yesterday. I'm not going to tell you who I'm running against, but I'm going to tell you what I'm running for. I am running for the United States of America to do for Black Americans something they've done for other groups. They've done it for Holocaust survivors. They've done it for Japanese Americans. They've done it for several Native American tribes. They've done it for people who've been exposed to radiation, and that is reparations. Now, I'm for other groups getting what they are owed. Right now, Ukrainians are under attack by Russia, and they are putting billions of dollars in Ukrainians to help protect their land. But if you are from the Low Country, that means y'all all know of a system called heirs property, where Black Americans have lost hundreds of millions of acres of our property. Where's the billions of dollars and trillions of dollars for us to protect our land? When Black Americans are dying from things, such as Black women just trying to give birth to a child, when we have the worst failing schools, when we own less homes now than our grandparents did during Jim Crow, who shows up to save us? Yet, when it's time to vote, they will always say to Black Americans, especially Black women, show up and save America. My name is Greg Marcel Dixon. I'm going to tell America it's time for you to show up to save us. Now, here's my platform very briefly. I'm running on a system of not just reparations, but equitably funding schools. I'm running on a system of giving us compensation for the land we've already stolen. I want to make health care available. We talk about gun violence, but we don't talk about the mental and emotional health and conditions that a lot of people face that often leads to violence. So we look good today. But I want us to do good every single day. June 14th, and I hope I can earn your vote. Thank you very much.
Down here. All right. So as I was saying, you know, this is the type of heat that we need. When I'm talking about questioning, you know, these politicians, you saw how the brother, he spoke for us. That's how these black politicians are supposed to be speaking. He was in front of white people. There were many white people out there, you know, but at the end of the day, he was still talking about doing what was best for us, not caring what they had to say. Well, I won't say not caring what they had to say, but you know, he's speaking for us. And if these politicians aren't coming with that same type of heat, you know, I don't think we should endorse them. You know what I mean? And just like the young brother that came on earlier, he's not particularly ready to fulfill that position, but in time, that's the type of character that we're going to be looking for to run for us. And Marcel Dixon, unfortunately, he started his campaign too late, and he was able to get his name out there, but you know, there was some trickery going on supposedly at the polls, and also, like I said, he started campaigning a little bit too late. He didn't put out enough posters. He didn't, I guess you could say, shake enough hands or whatnot. He didn't get enough recognition from the surrounding communities, and that's something that he discussed. This brother's out there in South Carolina, and from my understanding, he's going to be running again in the next 2 to 4 years. And this is a guy that, even though I know a lot of you are in Baltimore, if we can get this man in office, he says he's running as a Democrat. And if you go to his page and listen to what he's saying, you know, people are saying, you know, we don't trust the Democrats. We don't trust the Republicans. Why are you running as a Democrat instead of, you know, something different? He's saying the Democrats have made all these promises to us. I'm going to hold their ass accountable. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to push the agendas onto the Democrats as they promised us for, you know, I guess you could say all these years or whatnot. So, you know, we need to support this brother, even though he's not in Maryland. We still need to support this brother as much as we can, because all we need is one brother in one place to get in and start that heat. And then next thing you know, it's going to start following up in other places. And the young brother that came on earlier, he is a man that we should be trying to groom into fulfilling a position like that. You know, I don't feel like, you know, we should push it on him, so to say, but you know, young brothers like him is what we need. And if he's willing to, as he said, he wants to come and join, you know, what we got going on and see how we can contribute to what he has going on, you know, a vice versa thing. We need to try to do whatever we can to help that young brother push that agenda. And if we can also get him in the UNIA, he's saying he's transferring to Morgan. You know, I'm over here. I'm out at ECU right now. I'm in North Carolina. I'm trying to push the agenda, but I can't do it by myself. You know, I need a structure behind me when I go and I start, you know, talking to these young brothers and sisters. They're gonna need a structure to come up under. They can't fall up under what we have right now. It's just not feasible, not the way it's laid out. And you know, we got to do whatever we can to support that young brother, to help, you know, like I said, bring him in, and hopefully he can bring in even more young brothers, even if it's not just in Maryland. You know, we need as many people as we can get, especially the young. So, you know, I'll basically yield my time, but the main thing I'm getting to is if whoever you guys had down there, if he ain't speaking like Marcel, you know, he can go in the trash, in my opinion. We got to push for that. So that's all.
Yeah, and we need to look at Mitch McConnell, Tim Scott, all those areas all around the United States where they're limiting Congress from getting things passed because they're voting no. So the Senate is the problem. And those people that are in office, we got to get them out of there. So you're right. We need to push for everybody.
That's right.
Whoever's out there. And I mean, because Mitch McConnell, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to get out of there.
Totally agree.
And I don't care about Clarence Thomas. If he wants separation, I don't even care if he wants separation, because you can't do anything without Black people. Let me just tell you. So if you want to segregate, you want to come after everything, go ahead and segregate. We're going to be living in a wonderful land over here while y'all sitting over there looking crazy. So it's amazing what's going on. And you need to keep your eye on the ground, and you need to be listening to what's going on, because we need to be fully aware. And we cannot be ignorant to what's going on around us. Like Marcus Garvey said, we need to know everything.
I
yield my time.
And just to piggyback on what you said, Brother Cam, Kamala Harris said she's not going to do anything specifically for Black people. How the hell are you going to be Black and be the vice president and say, I'm not going to do anything specific? Hell, we need to vote for somebody specifically for Black people.
Are you surprised?
Never surprised.
I am not surprised.
But hold on, family, real quick. We got special guests in. We got the Chicago president, Brother Marua. Race first, my brother. Just wanted you to jump on. We was having a deep conversation, and you know you're a powerful brother. Just wanted you to talk a little bit about what's going on with y'all up in Chicago, the cleanup and everything, my brother, if you can. Brother Marua, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We got you, my brother. Race first.
Race first, brother. Race first. Yeah, I just got your text real quick. I didn't know what I was stepping into. But if my brother calls, then I have a responsibility to answer. We just real busy here in Chicago, doing race work, trying to uplift the conditions and change the conditions of our people. You talking about the cleanup, the cleanups in Philly, and I'm quite sure that you probably have more information, being that Baltimore has continued to show up to do the cleanup. So I don't really, it's plenty of work that needs to be done. It's plenty of work, and for anybody who wants to help the race, it's something that you can do. You just have to be willing, when it comes down to our people. The people, our race is the greatest race God ever made. He's made no race better than God. Better than Africans. So it's up to us. I understand we have a lot going on in this country, and we are real vigilant as far as what goes on in America, but we need to remember that the United States of America is not our country. It's not. And for us to put so much time and effort into trying to get this country to be how we want it, and not actually working on our own is really kind of crazy. It's like a man who's out taking care of somebody else's kids and not taking care of his own. Let's take care of our own. Let's take care of our own kids first. Let's take care of our own family. Let's take care of our own community. The Honorable Marcus Garvey say no African in the world would be free until Africa is free. And when we look at what's going on in Africa, with it being controlled by the Chinese, the Indians, the Lebanese, the Americans, the Europeans, and some of us having arguments about Russia and Ukraine. That's crazy. We know that Russia has never cared for Black people, and Ukraine has never cared for Black people. And we having, arguments about this, and we are saying that our money, our tax dollars that we put into this country and contribute, going over there, $3 I mean, the last I heard I know it was over $2 billion. And you know, I've been saying for the most, you know, it's 40 something million black people here in America. If they was to just give everybody, all of us, $1 million, we can change everything. But they can't pay reparations, but they can give all this money to someone else. So I don't know, brother Everest. You know, you got me here on this, you know, and I'm just, you know, I'm here.
No, I'm glad you jumped in, my brother. We was having a conversation on politicians, but I just wanted you to jump in and hear your voice. And I know you had mentioned earlier, you was mentioning North Carolina and so forth. We got a brother in our division here now, so we pushing them. So I ain't want to hold you up, but I just wanted to hear your voice, my brother.
Okay. All right, everybody. Yes,
All right.
yes, sir. Race first.
Race first,
brother.
That was our brother from Chicago, President Marua, my guy. So it's always good to hear him. I was in a restoration meeting with him earlier, and I hit him up, told him if he could jump on. So he jumped on for a second. But yes, brother Cam, you're right, and it's just crazy.
Can I say something?
Yes, brother Anthony, that's you. Oh yeah, go ahead, brother Tony. That was you.
I totally agree with everything Brother Marua just said, because this is my belief and my belief only. I'm a practical guy. We're in America, so we got to do what we can here. But I'm one of them people, I'm one of them black folks, I'm one of them Africans that believe this place will never, ever, ever be the way we want it to be. It will never, ever. It was it was built. It was built. It was not built for us. You feel me? I'm down with Brother Marua. As long as I'm here, I'll do what I can. But my focus is Africa, bro. I yield my time.
Ashe. Yeah, sovereign land. Brother Marua is my guy, and he doesn't hold any punches. And that's why I love him. He's straight to the point, he's street, and he goes hard. A lot of people, I don't know if I shared that with you. He was the president when the incident happened in Milwaukee, when they killed the brother in Milwaukee. It was one of the Chicago division's family members. So they went up there. And he said, eventually, you keep killing one of us, we're going to kill one of yours. They put him in the paper and twisted it all around. He didn't say we're going to go out killing cops. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You get tired of getting harassed. You get tired of getting bullied. And he's letting them know, like, you know, eventually in time, you get one of us, we're going to get one of yours. And he got a lot of backlash for it, but that's my brother. And I love his genuine sincerity. He's always from the heart. And it was just good for him to jump on real quick. And he's also head of the Restoration Committee, fundraising for our international headquarters. So that's my guy. So, and thank you for sharing that in the chat, Brother Kane. Did anybody have anything else to share? Well, I wanted to share this poem real quick before Sergeant Arms closes us out. It's by Marcus Garvey's second wife. It's called This Flag of Mine. And the poem goes as this: regardless of what is told of it, here is this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, great flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it, the red, black, and green on it. Oh, flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men shall dream of it, face shot in shells of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors, grot and pole of it. Pleases my soul with it, regardless what is told of it. Thanks, God, for giving it. Great flag of mine. I love that poem, which is funny. They always recite that poem. Sister Tania Chicago was always saying that poem. So I wanted to make, once Brother Marua said he was going to jump on real quick, I wanted to post that poem. But I think it's a great poem for all you guys to know. We have a lot of poems and stuff. Just hit me if you want to know. Our ancestors made a lot of poems, a lot of songs. And Marcus Garvey was actually a poet, and his wife helped him do a lot of his writing. So I just love that poem and I love that flag.
You're breaking up, brother.
I'm breaking up.
Not on my end.
Oh, okay. Everybody got it though? Well,
Yeah,
brother,
that was beautiful.
yeah, I love that poem. But Brother Tony, it's on you. Give us the quote so we can close out. Did we lose him?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Can
we
y'all
got
hear
you
me?
now. Yes, I got you.
All right, hold on a minute. Let me pull it up right here, right quick. Hello?
Yes.
I think the brother's got a bad connection. Brother Anthony, if you can hear us, your connection is pretty bad. We can't hear you.
Y'all can hear me, right?
I hear you now, yeah.
On this on phone, man. Race.
Now we don't hear you. You in here twice though. He must have jumped from his laptop to his phone. Well, we give him 1 minute. But yes, Brother Cam, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know, we need some go hard politicians, for real.
Yeah, and if I may add, you know, I feel like we have to make it an effort to start building with other divisions and stop being, you know, just to ourselves, if that
That's
makes
right.
any sense, you know.
That's right.
Even if it's once a month, I would like for us to try to maybe build with the Chicago, you know, build with the Chicago division 1 month, and then try to reach out to the other divisions as well, because all I know of is New York and Chicago at the moment. So
oh wow. No, we tight with Atlanta. Atlanta actually did a training. I'm actually from the Atlanta division.
yeah.
But we probably, you know, Detroit, I'm not too familiar with them. I'm starting to get to know them. DC, I'm pretty cool
Hey,
with.
Granny, man, what's going on?
Brother Anthony, you there?
Yeah, now, yeah, I'm back. Hold on.
All right.
Let me pull this. I'm gonna pull it up on my computer, read it off my computer, because I was trying to read it on my phone and pull it up on my phone and read it off of my phone at the same time. That wasn't working. So let me go ahead and look one up real quick. I had one. I had a good one too, man. Oh man.
While
I
you
gotta
looking
go
for
look
that,
for it now.
Brother Tony, are you good for tomorrow at 11 a.m.? Can you hop on a Zoom with me real quick? About the Garvey
For
Festival?
11 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good for 11 a.m. I'm good
All right.
for 11 a.m.
Perfect.
All right, just family, just bear with me 1 minute. All right. Just bear with me. Man, you know, when it comes to Garvey, I gotta say, man, the quotes are so many and so prolific. Sometimes you don't even know which one to read, bro.
You're right.
Tell you the truth. You don't, I mean, it's like you might as well spin around 3 times and you know what I mean? Okay, hold on. I think I found one here. No. I read that one before. I know that one. Oh, this one right here. He said this one. This one was said when he was in the prison, when Marcus Garvey was in prison in Atlanta. it goes as follows. It said, if I die in Atlanta, my work shall then only begin, but I shall live in the physical or spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Red, black, and green, Africa, up and down. Because I mean, I gotta say something. I gotta say something that I observe, and I'm saying I'm not trying to step on any feet, and it's just an observation that I made. It seems to me like the hope of even some black people that say they pro-black, they
You're gonna have to get stationary, Brother Anthony. We can't hear you.
They study in African nationalism. They want to make, I mean, anywhere you have to be conducive. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying this, it just seems like a lot of so-called Africans in this country, they try to make this comfortable because they don't want to be, the truth is they don't want to be bothered with Africa. They want this right here. And I'm saying right here, right now, you got to make up your mind what you want. Either you want America or you want Africa. You ain't gonna get both. Race first.
Race
Race
first.
first. I totally agree with you, Brother Anthony. And you know, I've taken the stance myself that for the ones who want to stay here, you know, we gotta let them, if they want to stay on the plantation, just like Sister Harriet Tubman. You know, if they want to stay on the plantation, and they're gonna have to stay, and we're gonna have to go to the promised land.
Well, Brother Cam, just like Garvey said, Garvey said it, and sometimes
and take everybody back to Africa, and you know.
Yeah, that's another
what he
thing.
said.
That's another thing I use to shoot down some people, because when you start talking African nationalism, I don't want to go back to no Africa. You know, I said, I hit him with Garvey code. I said, Garvey said, I don't want everybody to go to Africa. You're no good here, and you'll be no good there. Race first.
Race first.
I got one. Can I jump in for like 2 seconds with this?
Go ahead, brother Bruce.
I do know one thing. We can't go to Africa broke. I can promise you on that. Now, we look at the conditions that they have in Africa, because I just wanted to jump on this tangent for like real quick. We look at the conditions in some parts. Some people live good, some people live bad. At the same time, everybody lives side by side in harmony, right? So us as African Americans, let's say we decided we want to go to Africa and everything. We're gonna need funding. We're gonna need money. We're gonna need to be able to go over there. And if our lifestyle is one way, we're used to paved roads and street lights and stuff like that. We can downgrade into a country town, but it would be nice if we could come over there with money as a group and be able to build something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be a beautiful dream to be able to do that. You know?
I know the meeting is over, but Brother Bruce, don't buy into that narrative of unpaved roads and all that.
I don't buy into that, brother.
They got cities in Africa that rival New York.
Yeah.
Yes, but I do want to say one thing, brother. When we look at that, yes, they have cities that rival New York and everything. But right here, we have 401k, we have health insurance, we got all of these things that support our lifestyle, pensions and stuff that supports our lifestyles over here that we aspire to. What I am saying is that when we do decide to transfer over to Africa, we're bringing money with us in whole swaths. So if we're going to take our homeless people with us, we have money to support us when we go over there.
Oh,
you know
definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're a part of Unia, right? That's what Garvey was all about. Garvey wasn't about just packing a suitcase and jumping on the next boat.
Right.
That's what the Unia is about. The Unia is about setting up the whole thing so who wants to go can go and who wants to stay can stay.
Exactly. And that's why we need money. If we're going to take people to Africa, we need a lot of money. If we even going to relocate 10,000 people that want to go over there right now, we got to buy land, we got to build houses, we got to build schools, we got to at least be able to support them. And some places, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with that. So I'm all the way with you. I'm with you. I'm with what Garvey said, but at the same time, we gotta bring money with us, large amounts of money.
I agree with you to a point, but I'm here to tell you there's lots of black folks from the West that are already pulled up and are doing great in Africa, and they did not go over there with a truckload of money. That is a fallacy.
If I may jump in, brothers, I think Brother Brucey, I like where he was going with it. Like you said, I'm not going to step on anybody's toes, or I'm not trying to. I think the main thing that we have to capture is that at the very least, when that transition does come, we have to have skills at the very least. You know what I mean?
And that's what Garvey was about. Garvey was about bringing engineers, doctors, and whatever field you got skills in, you know what I'm saying, to build to go build the place up, you know what I'm saying? But as long as black folk hold on to this right here, that they kicking our behinds day and night, as long as we keep holding on to this, that ain't never gonna get done.
I say.
So what I want to add to this conversation is something I've been talking to Bruce about and other people, is that we have to use the system that we have till we don't need it anymore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
And to go back to the bank account situation, I just want everybody to know that, if we was going to be millionaires, we would have hit the lottery already, right? That's fast money. We're building long-term money together. And I don't know if you have any groups that you currently save with right now, but I'm looking for this to be one of the first groups that I've ever saved money with. And we got to start small and we got to be consistent. So as far as building any type of wealth, it takes time to build money and build wealth. So I'm in it for the long haul with you guys, and we got to plan the next 2 years, the next 5 years, and the next 10 years, because that's the time it's going to take to amass the type of money.
Thank you.
And what I love about your presentation is the way it started out from stage one right up to the ships. That's UNIA up and down, man.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I love it, bro. I love it. I really do, man. And I didn't ask no questions because to me, most of it was clear. So I didn't ask.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And I want to thank Brother Cameron again for assisting me with it. He helped out.
Brother Cameron, big up.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
Respect.
Can I jump in real fast?
Go for it.
Hey, bro, James.
Yeah.
Let's keep this statements.
Why you gonna do that to brother James?
Because I've been texting him to say something so I can interject and say that one line.
Why you gonna do that to brother James, man?
Let's keep this at least PG rated, brother James. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Right now is a very important we're at a very important stage in developing who we are going to be as a UNIA division. And Brother Cam, I love, man, the way you're going, and I hope that you take this opportunity and everything so that when it's time for your division to open up, you'll have all the skills, you know what I mean, needed. I hear you keep talking about other people, you know what I mean, like the other brother that was on, and I'm thinking like, man, we think the same thing about you that you think about this dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
for real,
man,
brother Cam.
I hope we can groom this dude to be such and such, and I'm thinking like, dude, you are this dude, you know what I mean? You're that guy, man. You're that guy. You know what I mean? I'm not looking outside of anybody else, you know what I mean, to be like the next person to represent, you know what I mean, us as a race. I'm looking to you. But what I really want to tell you is that right now we are trying to develop the now I can't even think of the name of it, but the rules and regulations in which and how we will operate, bylaws. I strongly urge you to reach out and work with Frank, because he is in the process of trying to put them together. And that goes for anybody else. You know what I mean? It's not just for Brother Cam. But I love, you know what I mean, the ideas and the vision that you have. And I want those to be, you know what I mean, not just visions, not just words, not just ideas. I want that to be rooted in the bylaws so that when we're gone, the next group that comes along that is running this has to go along and they have to fulfill those visions. And the way that you do that is you incorporate all of that stuff within the bylaws. This is the direction we want to go. This is what we want, and so on and so forth. So I'm telling you and everybody else on the call, you know what I mean, reach out to Frank and say, you know what I mean, this is what I had envisioned when I joined the Unia. This is the way I wanted to go. And with that said, whatever vision it is that you want and that you have, that you would like for us to see us do, then it's up to you to implement it. It's up to you to get the people behind you. It's up to you to run it. It's up to you to be in charge of it. I like to say that I have a lot of ideas, but I don't have a lot of energy to put into them. So whatever it is, Brother Cam, and I love, hey man, I'm just being honest, dog. I'm trying to defer most of this stuff to you, Everett. Whatever it is, man, seriously, all jokes aside, whatever it is that anybody, you know what I mean, any of the officers or whatever have in mind, then be ready to run it. Get with Brother Frank so that we can implement all of these things. I know, like we've said a couple of times now, oh, we got to get to the college. We got to get to the college. We got to get to the college. We got to stop talking about getting to the colleges and get to the college. You know what I mean? That has to be something that is rooted, you know what I mean, in what it is that we do. We can't keep talking about the homeless. We got to get out there and reach out to the homeless. That has to be something that is written into what we do as an organization. When we start talking about businesses and everything, that has to be something that is written into, you know what I mean, our bylaws and everything else, and how we will conduct ourselves within our meetings and within the streets. And when we're going to go meet with everybody else, whatever ideas and visions that you have that you want for the division to go in, talk to Brother Frank so we can get it on paper and we can start implementing these things. Instead of just talking about it, we can start implementing these things. That's it, man. And any politician that isn't part of like a Black organization ain't down for a Black organization. And that's common sense. If he ain't already in it, he ain't going to be in it. He's just going to get up there and say whatever it is they need to say and move on. My last little point, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. The Supreme, while everybody is talking about abortions and everything else, there was a case that went before the Supreme Court last month. Inmate in Arizona named Barry Jones. It's very important because Barry Jones had extremely poor representation. There was overwhelming evidence showing that Barry Jones never committed the crime that he was accused of. Clarence Thomas was the defining judge in this case. That says that the state of Arizona does not have to consider any new evidence showing that he is innocent of the crime that he's been convicted of, and they have the right to go ahead and execute him now. That's huge, because if the police have planted evidence, I know that's not the type of thing that would happen in Baltimore, but if the police have planted evidence like a gun on you or something, you know, Clarence Thomas has just said that the state does not have to, you know what I mean, go back and hear any evidence that of your innocence. whether you know what I mean, that your attorney should have presented your whole case at your trial. And if you were found guilty, then you're guilty. If they were going to put you to death, then they got the right to put you to death. It kind of shatters the whole process of the appellate court in what they did. And it was May 23rd and what they did. His name is Barry Jones. Read it and read to see what his decision was and how it is going to affect millions of innocent people that are locked behind bars that will never get the opportunity to present evidence of their innocence due to this decision. And it wasn't just his decision, because it was an overwhelming decision, 6-3. He was the one that just wrote the brief on why and how they came to the decision. Race first.
Race first, brother.
Race first.
Prez, you ready? Prez, you ready to close out?
Yeah, we can close out if y'all can repeat after me. One God.
One God.
One aim.
One
aim.
One destiny.
One aim.
One destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
For the Africans.
For those at home.
For those at home.
And for those abroad.
For those abroad.
Race first. Great meeting, family.
Race first, family.
All right.
First.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.